hot, hot, hot. And so I often wonder, well, where should I begin? And the lack thereof.
Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn Jiu Jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Third thing we're brought to you by is Rat Bat. You got rats? Want to kill bats? Kill them with a rat bat. Fourth thing we're brought to you by is hot dog flavored water ingredients. If you want to add it to your smoothie, hot dog flavor ingredient.
Oh, very good.
So we have to do this to sync it. I shouldn't even say I do it. My friend, shout out to Keith Obut. He's the one that does it. And he has his own podcast too, which is pretty awesome. The Bogcast.
The what? The
Bogcast.
Oh, the Bog?
Bog.
B-O-G?
Yep.
Bog.
Bogcast. It's great. He interviews a bunch of different random people, musicians and actors and authors, and
Really?
they had a dog trainer. Yeah, I was on there, so it's pretty good.
Right
You should check
on.
them out too.
You deserve to be on there.
I don't know about that, but I was friends, so I got to do it. So, all right.
Okay.
State your name. Who are you?
Well, my name is Shane Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
My sobriety date is 2/14/05.
Nice.
My sponsor is I want to say Brad Wagner because that was my original sponsor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when I was in Chandler Valley Hope,
Mm-hmm.
and
What's
I-
Chandler Valley Hope?
that's a rehab.
Okay.
Now, I never personally thought that I would be a dude that goes to rehab.
Yeah.
You
I
know
don't
what I
think
mean?
I don't think anyone does that.
I know, right? Like,
That's not like, oh, when I'm a kid, I think one day I'll be in rehab. No.
yeah,
that's
dude,
not-
you know what I mean? Yeah, you
not
know
how it
what I
goes.
mean? I mean, we see other people go through it and whatever, and
Yeah.
we go, damn, dude, what is that, like jail?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that? Like a a prison that you get to be in for only like a little while and then you're out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
Do you feel like it was when you were there?
No, not really. What was a trip is that I was what they called red tagged.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was an whatever it's called.
Needles.
Yeah.
Intravenous.
Yeah, intravenous. Yeah, I
Yep.
was an intravenous drug user.
Okay.
So I shot methamphetamines and cocaine
Mm-hmm.
quite frequently.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, dude. Yeah.
So this whole podcast I've done, this is the fourth interview now. I had two people that we released, I think Wednesday. The first guy was Brandon Butcher. He was addicted to alcohol, and he's been sober for a few years now, 4 or 5 years, I think.
Right on.
And then we did Lorraine, and I'm not sure how long she's been sober for quite a long time though, like 11 years or something like that.
Oh, right on. Dude.
And then I did another girl named Amber, and she was addicted to heroin, and at one point she was intravenous also.
Yeah.
And then she's been sober for a few years too.
Right
So
on. Dude.
my whole goal again was to show that it is possible, and
Right.
that there's not like one type of person that's a drug addict. You
No,
go, that's
oh,
a
yeah.
drug addict, not me. I'm not a drug addict. I want people to go, no. This housewife who's super intelligent and looks normal, suburban person, she had a drinking problem. Like this young girl, she had a heroin problem. Like this, Brandon looks like a regular guy. Like I don't want people to go, that's a drug. I mean, obviously, when you see someone, at QT and they're like just strung out on meth, like you're like, that's a drug addict for sure. But like, that's at the worst part. Like people need to understand, like there's a whole series of things to get to that part. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
what would you think? What would you say was the beginning? Like what got you in that road, down that road?
Okay, well,
to go there.
So check this out, right? So I don't mean to be rude or nothing. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't get to finish real quick, okay?
Okay, all right.
So just check this out real quick, okay? Because this is kind of a thing to me. Okay, so anyway, so Brad Wagner was my original sponsor, okay? A little Jewish guy, okay, from Chandler Valley Hope, all right, that I met in a Cocaine Anonymous meeting.
Yep.
Okay, but that is not my sponsor right now. My sponsor right now is a wonderful man named Gary Wall. And my service commitment is that I am an usher at my church. Okay. I take an H&I commitment into a place called the Destiny House.
What's H&I?
H&I, Hospitals and Institutions.
Okay.
Okay, so I take that into a rehab.
Okay.
/ sober living environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of call that my home group, but there's really only 3 of us. You know what I mean? But okay, so otherwise than that, I got that out of the way. Okay. I don't know how you feel about. I know you believe in God, so can we say a prayer just real quick,
Yeah, man.
if you don't mind?
Have you watched any of these?
No. I watched one.
So,
I
no.
watched part of one.
But yeah, we could pray. Go for it.
All right, man. Father, we come before you. I personally ask you, even with my friend, that you would be in the middle of this, that this would be your will, that you would give the right things to say, and it's not about me, God, but it's about you, and so I ask for your guidance right now in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're not.
You remember I went to your church one time.
I know you did, right? And you talked to my pastor too about all kinds of stuff.
And I bought you a Bible. I bought you a Bible.
I know you did, right,
Yeah.
dude?
So, yeah.
Yeah, you remember all that. Yeah, I remember that too, dude.
I remember you said, I have a Glock. I'm like, that's cool. Do you have a Bible? No. I'm like, why do you have a Glock but not a Bible?
Right.
Well, I go to church. That's cool. But you need a Bible, so I bought you a Bible.
Yeah, dude.
I forgot about that. I literally just remembered that.
Yeah, I still got that Bible.
Yeah, so, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so.
Religious thing is, I don't have a problem praying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No,
It's funny, like, most of these interviews, they talk about faith helping them get sober. Like, God helped them heal them, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you
heal
bet.
them to where they are right now, you know?
Right. Yeah, no. Okay, so you were talking about what kind of made my life where addiction really took over, I guess.
Yeah, but what do you think? What is it? What made you start? Was there something that you were down first? Were you drinking first? Were you smoking cigarettes first? Were you smoking pot first? Did you go straight to just cocaine one time? Like,
Oh no,
you know, this is a long story. You know,
oh,
like
yeah, it is
doesn't
a long
just
story, dude.
nobody just goes. I don't think anyone just goes heroin, cocaine most of the time. It's a gradual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm asking. It's like the devil talking to you. You know, like it gives you a little thing, and then the devil just keeps opening, and you're like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah,
and
I
then
got a
like
handle
all
on
of a sudden it's this big thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my point. Is like, where did you start? Where do you think things started on the path?
Okay, I don't want to put the blame on my brother.
Okay.
Okay, but many years ago, you know Sears Roebuck and Company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not really my brother's problem. It's not really my brother's fault. But a long time ago, Sears came out with a weed eater that had a guard on it. You remember those days? I mean,
I did landscaping, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's the reason why. My brother is the reason why, dude.
Did they have a guard on the weed eater?
Yeah, he was weed eating one time in Houston, Texas, I believe it was, and he was weed eating somebody's yard, and he was working around the tree, and it picked a stick up and threw it right into his freaking eye, dude. Right into his retina.
So he lost his eye?
Well, yeah, not really. I mean, it's his real eye. You know what I mean? But it went into his retina. And it went so deep that it destroyed his eyesight for the rest of his life.
Both eyes?
No, just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah, just one. And so it all he can see really is like color. You know what I mean? Like dark and light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He can't really see out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so that was always the side I wanted to punch him on. You know, no, I'm just messed up. That's kind of screwed up, you know. But I mean, you know, so when me and him got into it, you know what I mean? He was a tough cat, dude. He was a original scrapper, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God,
My
man.
sons were fighting literally this morning. I was in my bedroom and I'm hearing, I'm like, oh crap. So I go out there. What happened? Brock, he stabbed me in the back with a pencil. I'm like, what? What are you? Why would you think that it's okay? What was this? And then it was a whole thing about like, I didn't really stab him. I had my pencil and I put it in his back and he leaned into me. And then I was like, his brother. Was a stab, dude. And I was like, brother or Ryder, why would you do that? Why would you lean into a sharp object? That doesn't even make sense either. I'm like, you're both dumb. This is both stupid. What are you doing? You know, like, it's just brothers both scrap.
But you know what though? Here we go. It takes us back to Cain and Abel.
Yeah, for sure. That's how old it is.
Yeah, that's how old. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We don't have to be told to love our mom and dad.
Yeah.
But we have to be taught how to love our siblings.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Me and my
I
brother
mean,
fought too.
oh yeah, dude. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, dude. My brother could have like pounded me on the ground. You know what I mean? But he never really did until we got much older. But but so the doctors told my brother Billy. They said, listen. They said, marijuana will help with the pressure. Because he had a lot of pressure, you know.
He didn't glaucoma because it's the pressure of the glaucoma, right?
Right. Well, it wasn't even glaucoma. I mean, it was...
No, but
right,
they do that for glaucoma
yes,
because it's the pressure on the eyeball. Supposedly it helps the...
Now, see, that's medical marijuana.
Yeah.
That's the real reason. And stuff like that for medical marijuana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not bashing on everybody that gets a card, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But come on, man. I mean, you know... How much of y'all are really out there that really need medical marijuana? You know what I mean?
Most do not know.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, I'm not going to bash on them. You know what I mean? They know who they are, whatever. You know what I mean? That I don't have to worry about that. But, so before they had medical marijuana, that's what they told my brother, you know, and my mother.
That must have been a long time ago then.
Oh, dude, it was like really long time ago. You know what I mean? Like back in the 80s, dude. You know, like early 80s.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't common to even hear that was a thing. Yeah.
That was totally shamed upon. You know what I mean? Oh, how dare! That's a legal substance. You know what I mean? Or you can go to jail. Or you can go to prison for something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and which is still legit even today. You know what I mean? The feds, they pull you over, dude. It's hey, let's go to jail. Yep. You know what I mean? I went to jail for that a couple of different times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But he would smoke pot in my room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. So me and my mom and my sister and my brother lived in this apartment complex, okay? My mom was a manager over an apartment complex. And actually, this is funny.
In Phoenix?
No, in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it was Oklahoma and Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I remember you were from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma, man. Check this out, bro. Oh, look at that. What? Check it out, dude. OU, baby.
Okay.
We beat Baylor twice.
All
wow. Right. What is that all about, right? Anyways, football.
I don't play football.
I know, me neither. Yeah, we're too old.
This is true.
Yeah, we get nailed. We'd die.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
So
I don't do that either.
he was smoking in your room.
Yeah. So
you were getting high because of you're just breathing in the fumes,
yeah.
right?
I mean, he would barely even open up the window, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
how old was he?
Oh, dude, we were young, dude. We were really young.
He was a kid when he was
taking? Oh yeah, dude. He was just a kid, dude. He was I don't know, maybe 15, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe not even
teenager,
that. I don't know. Yeah, it was right around there, dude. You know what I mean? And of course he smoked a lot, dude. Because I mean, I can only imagine how bad that really hurt. You want to hear, dude? This dude is. Don't get me wrong. Imagine he was scared to death and not knowing what really happened, dude. He pulled the stick out of his eye. Dude, he pulled it out of his eye.
You shouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Just leave that in and you go to the doctor and take that out.
But I mean, could you imagine like blinking with that thing in your eye? No, me neither, dude. You know, so I mean, of course, I was like, oh my God, dude. Wow, man, that had to hurt, dude, like really bad. You know what I mean? And the sad thing was,
we always took the guard off of mine when I did landscaping.
And wore glasses.
But I wore glasses. Yeah. I never not wore glasses. I've had stuff flung in my eye. I've had dog crap flung in my eye. Talk about nasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's gross. So, for sure, I always wear sunglasses.
That's
sunglasses.
really gross, bro.
Super gross. Super gross. Even wet grass in your eyes, gross. All of it. I don't want none. I've had rocks in my eye. It's terrible. Dude. But I could see how sticky go in your eye.
Oh
easily.
Yeah. So I mean, he'd be getting high, dude, and of course it would get me high, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, Billy, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Totally cotton mouth, dude. And I remember those times, dude. And the funny thing is that we lived on one side of the apartment. And my mom and sister lived on the other side of the apartment. My mom was a pretty smart woman. She got 2 apartments and she tore down one wall in between them. Okay. So we had 2 big giant apartments, dude, right? And so we could do whatever we wanted to on our side, and they would really never know once they went to bed. You know, so he would sneak into my room and take the whole damp towel and put it underneath the door jamb. Mm-hmm. You know, so the smoke wouldn't escape. You know, so we wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And he would just smoke and drink, dude. And so, you know, after a while, you know, of that, dude, I mean, to be honest with you, you know, I felt different. Yeah. You know, I mean, like it did something different to me. You know what I mean? Like it kind of made me feel weird. You know what I mean? Like it kind of made me feel, I don't know, kind of normal. You know?
Okay.
Because I always kind of felt like I was kind of abnormal. I don't know, man. Not like not in like a major weird way, but kind of abnormal.
Yeah.
But it made me feel different. You know what I mean? It there was that. I don't want to. It was in a bad way, but a psychic change. You know what I mean? It wasn't the psychic change that we learn about later on when we get clean and sober. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, dude. It was a different type. It was like the reverse type of psychic change. You know,
felt normal instead of
instead
different.
of you know, and so he would do that a lot. You know, and a lot of people didn't know that. And I love you, Billy, you know, and, you know, I don't blame you. For the things in my life later on, you know, I blame myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's only one person to really, point that blame at, and that's myself, you know what I mean? But there are things that helped out, you know what I mean? You know, stresses of life, you know, things that happen in the past of our lives.
Yeah.
You know, back and let's go back a little bit because you know, we always do that. You know what I mean? When we're talking about our sobriety, dude, it's almost like a leapfrog. You know what I mean? Let's leap forward. Let's leap backward. My voice sounds really dark, really deep. No, not really, not dark, but
deeper.
Yeah, really deep, doesn't it? It sounds really deep. Wow, man.
You're just not used to
Maybe I
listening to
should
your
be
voice.
on radio.
Maybe. I don't know. Go for it.
I just, you know, but you know, there's a lot of other things though in my life that a lot of people don't know. You know, like really, like, you know, I was molested when I was a child.
Okay.
Not by a family member. You know what I mean? But you know, this is where, you know, where a lot of people get nervous. I mean, they really do, dude. They get nervous hearing about this type of stuff, and they get nervous with talking about this type of stuff.
Yep.
You know, but I talked to God before I got here, you know, and God said, you know, and you know, he kind of put it on my heart. I didn't hear him talk, you know, this time around, but you know, he kind of put it up on my heart that, you know, people need to hear the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I was talking about the marijuana and stuff like that, like, you know, I didn't have to like remember that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because God,
so you felt like it numbed. That you didn't think about it, and then when you're by yourself, you might have thought, or especially at night when you sleep and have a nightmare. Like, did you have nightmares? Sure, I don't even know. Not putting them out. No. Never had nightmares about it or anything.
It happened when I was really small. Mm-hmm. My grandma and grandpa had like this property out in the middle of like Oklahoma somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I was playing around, and I seen this house like afar off, and I was like running through all these weeds, you know, tall grass, and ended up at this person's house, man. That was like, you know, man, you know, we look at today and we go, child molesters, man, they're freaking bad, dude. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And oh no, dude, that's for real. You know what I mean? I'm lucky to be alive, dude. Like God was fully watching over me, dude. Yep. I mean, if I was to describe to you some of the things that happened, man, people would be like, you know, why didn't you kill that dude? You know what I mean? Like straight up. You know what I mean? To be honest with you.
It's one of my biggest fears as a father is when we used to live, my wife went on and looked up all the sexual predators. You could see them all in the neighborhood. Yeah. And there are these apartment complexes, like weird apartment complexes in the middle of my own neighborhood. It's actually close to this, not too far from here, actually. And there was like 3 of them living there. In one place. It's only like 2 blocks from our house. And then we were across the street from the square, and I didn't like my kids hanging outside because they're like these prostitutes, you know, crackhead prostitutes that basically will do whatever for crack, for methamphetamine or meth, whatever. And it's like, and then I just didn't want my kids outside, you know, like I can't watch them 24 hours if they're outside, you know, and then it's so easy to just pull up in a car, just grab them, and they're gone.
Oh, like and it happens more now than it used to do back then.
And now you have trafficking, sex trafficking.
Oh, dude.
They just kidnap people and then take them, and then you don't see them again.
Dude, in broad daylight, dude. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they got balls, you know what I mean? Yeah, like straight up. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. So, yeah, that stuff's like one of my biggest fears in my life is that what happened to my kids. You know, I want to protect my kids. That's part of my, as a father, you know, I want to protect my kids. And, so yeah, man, like that stuff's always on my mind, you know, like, and, you know, in the school, I have cameras everywhere but this room, and nobody's allowed in this room. Like, kids are never allowed in this room, because I also don't ever want to be accused of something as heinous as that.
Right.
You know, because people are crazy, you know, like people, they'll lie and try to sue, you know, try to get money out of you. And I don't even have money, so I don't know what they would get. But like, once that's on your record, that's a tarnished record. Even if you're completely honest, you know, and then never happened, you could get in trouble. So I have cameras everywhere for that specific reason.
Maybe you ought to put a ring right there, dude.
A ring?
Yeah, a ring. You know, the ring.
Oh,
you know,
the door.
doorbell?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it only picks up my motion.
I can put more cameras in here too. I just, this is the only place I didn't have cameras, because I change in here, so that's why I don't have cameras in here. I don't want anyone to get a hold of the camera, and then I'm like, you know, my chonies, or like I'm taking my clothes off in here, you know, like whatever, you know what I mean? The bathrooms don't have a camera, and this doesn't have cameras. So where anyone's changing, there's no cameras, but everywhere else there's cameras, and I don't let, you know, anyone go in a bathroom with a kid that's not their kid. So like, it'll never happen that way either. You know, and then I get invited to like kids' birthday parties all the time too, because I teach kids, and I just like, I can't do that kind of stuff. And then I don't give rides with kids. Like, I've had to try to, you know, people want, hey, can you give my kid a ride to the tournament? I'm like, I can't. I would love to. Like, somebody there or something. In a perfect world, I would love to do that. I'd have no problem doing that, but like, I can't. I'm not okay with that. You know, I won't do that. So I understand that, you know, and I'm sorry that happened to you, man. Well, and do you feel like that contributed to it then?
You know what? You know what they say, man? I don't exactly know how
like
to put
numbing
it,
pain. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you remember certain things. You know what I mean? You don't really realize about what it does to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spiritually, physically, mentally.
Sometimes things are going on.
You know?
It's like a computer program, you know, that's on your computer, that's going on in the background that you don't even know it's doing things.
Oh, dude,
you know, like, and it's affecting the computer. It's slowing the computer down.
Right.
But you're like, why is the computer running slow? Because there's something in the background running. And sometimes trauma, I think, in our lives can do that too. You could have past trauma, and you're like, I feel fine, but then you're not really fine, and you're not really you're not handling things super well, or maybe you're getting agitated really easily, and you don't know why you're getting agitated so easily, or you're really depressed, you don't know why, or you feel like your self-worth is like low, and you don't know why. Sometimes that's that trauma, I think. Yeah. I'm not a psychologist,
you're hitting it on the nose.
But I think that's common, you know, and I think it's common that addictions sometimes are just numbing the pain of reality,
right?
Masking.
A lot of it is
hiding from the reality, because reality is harsh, man. Yeah, it's harsh.
Well, you know, and the sad thing is, Mike, is that you know, and I'm going to say this, you know,
nobody gets out alive.
Yeah, well, that too. But I mean, there's a lot of our family history. You know what I mean? It has a lot to do. You know, people used to say, you know, it's something that you know you just take on. You know what I mean? You know what the Bible says, that the sins of your father will pass down 3 generations. Yeah. Okay. You know, that ain't no joke. You know what I mean? Like the things that person did. You know what I mean? There's a ripple effect for 3 generations. You know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people don't want to look at that side, you know what I mean? They don't want to say, well, you know, but that's addiction. You know what I mean? That's the power of all the wrong that we do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And back then, your family would hide that type of stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that stuff just wouldn't come out. You know what I mean? Like you almost had to like prod and shock, you know what I mean? And like threaten them, you know what I mean? But otherwise it was, shh. You may hurt our family name. Yep. You know what I mean? You don't know. You know. Well, wait a minute. Knowledge is power. Yeah. Right. That's what they say. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power. So if you gave me more knowledge, I would be more powerful. You know what I mean? Yeah. I might be able to make the right choices and decisions.
So you feel like you forgot about it for a long time?
No,
and then you came back later?
No, it wasn't that I forgot about it. It's just that I didn't really know about it. You know what I mean? I didn't really know about the past of our family.
Oh, the past of your family. Yeah, okay. I thought you meant the trauma.
The trauma too, though. I mean, it all kind of mixed together.
Sometimes people, when they're young, trauma happens and they block it out. They like straight up block it out, and then the family never talks about it, and you don't realize that happened until later in life. And you're getting these like memories and like, did this, and then your mom or dad didn't tell you, like, yeah, when you were like 5, man, this thing happened, and
Well, see, and they never told me nothing like that. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
yeah.
what I thought what you meant. I
No.
don't know what
It's okay.
happened in their family history that was like
Oh, dude, like
that was like that you think contributed to addiction. And,
well, I mean, we had real bad drinking problems in my family.
yeah.
My
Like your dad or
my
something?
dad actually drank quite a bit. I think he was more of a hard drinker. You know, the big book of, and you know, it's not that I'm bringing this on to like film and stuff, but the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous says that there is a difference between a hard drinker and an alcoholic. You know, I identify myself as an addict and as an alcoholic all the time. You know what I mean? Am I practicing today? No, man. By the grace of God, am I not practicing today? You know what I mean? That there is recovery, huh?
Practicing what?
Addiction, active addiction.
Oh, you're not doing things that
right,
are okay.
right, that are active.
What's
addiction.
the difference? How do they say the difference between a hard drinker and an addict?
Boy, there's not much.
An addict or
An
alcoholic?
Alcoholic.
Okay.
You know, but see the thing.
But they says there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to. I'm not going to say. Okay, so I overheard somebody talking, and they said, "I'm done drinking." You know what I mean? Just recently. And they said some things happened, and it really woke me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to that, and I was like, you know, and the person was like, "I'm done." They were like, you know,
It's over.
Yeah, like, you know, it's over, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, a hard drinker, when something happens in their personal life that really traumatizes them, that really wakes them up, they can quit drinking.
Okay.
Like, they can just straight up say, "I am
Just
done."
Just willpower, just done.
Bam, yep,
Yeah.
boom. You know what I mean? Like,
You're saying an alcoholic can't do that.
Can't do
no
that.
matter, even they need help.
Yep, they need help.
In a process.
You know what I mean? Yep. And you know, I had this shirt, dude, that was made by this dude. His last name was Notting. I can't remember his first name, dude, and he would really be upset if I couldn't remember his first name, dude. But he made this shirt, and it was yellow, and it just stuck out, dude. And it said, "Trust the process."
Yeah.
You know, that was it. Trust the process. You know, and I bought that shirt from him, and I love that shirt, dude. I bought 2 of them, actually. No, I bought 3 of them, I think. I bought 2 yellow ones and 1 pink one for my wife a long time ago, and we were all in sobriety, and you know, that really made sense to me on a lot of different levels.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That made even more sense to me in a
A
relationship
lot of
with
things.
God.
A lot of things in life are not a light switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like off and on.
Right.
It is a process.
Yeah.
Jiu Jitsu is a process as well.
Yeah.
You start off a white belt.
Yeah.
Your goal is to get to a black belt.
Yep. You don't know
But
nothing.
that's not a light switch.
Right.
No, I'm a black belt. No.
Well, not
It's a
everybody's
long process.
not everybody's BJ Penn.
Yeah, but even him, like, it took him 3 years. You know,
Right? I mean, but you know.
can get an associate's degree or a bachelor's in 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's still
Right.
3 years.
Yeah.
That's fast for jiu-jitsu, but like,
Oh,
in other things, you can be proficient in a lot of things in 3 years.
yeah.
But it's still years. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It is a process. That was a process. 3 years is
Yeah.
a process.
Yeah. It
You
still
know.
is a growing thing. you
Yeah.
know.
So like, you feel like the process. What was the So you feel like it started out. You started with your brother, and you were smoking. So I'm assuming you started smoking just by yourself then, or without his help, or drinking.
No, not really without. You know, my brother was funny. He was like, "Don't ever do this without me, or I'll hurt you." And I was like, "Do what?" You know what I mean? He may not remember it, but it was really funny, you know. And he was like, you know, only with me because I know what I get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to hang out with my big brother. I loved my big brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was the stud muffin dude. You know what I mean? He really was, honestly. And you know, and he was a chick magnet. You know what I mean? So I always wanted to hang out with my big brother because he was a chick magnet and he was a stud muffin. And you know, and he'd get me high. You know, when I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I always wanted to be with my brother, and of course, you know, he would always want to be with his own friends, you know, and stuff like that.
What was the jump then? What was the jump that you were doing more than that? More than drinking, more than smoking, and more than just with your brother?
Well, I mean, it came later on. I mean, there was other issues too that came up and that I tried to hide What are we on right now? Like 40 minutes?
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter?
I just look
Okay.
at. I look up a lot, like for people on the camera that if you watch these, because I have a monitor there that tells me it's still filming, and I've done it where the camera went out and I didn't realize it was still filming, or like I check over here to make sure that we're still recording audio.
Oh,
so
very good.
don't get nervous when I look up. I just do
Oh,
that
no,
to make sure that like, oh, it's still going. Okay, because
I
I don't.
happen to look
I
over
don't
there
want
and
to
I'm
talk
like,
to you
wow.
for an hour and then we recorded nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be terrible. Like you can't. All this stuff. I don't prearrange questions. I might have some things on my mind I want to talk about.
Right.
You know, this whole thing is about sobriety, and you said you want to come out and talk about it, and that's kind of it. So like I just try to lead the conversation.
Yeah.
And go from there. But like I don't have like a set thing. You know, like we don't have to be done at
Right.
certain time or whatever,
Well, good.
I just want to trying to keep it going because I'm personally wondering where the jump is, like,
well,
because a lot of people drink, you know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
people drink even as a kid or teenagers, and then they don't have a problem when they're older. Maybe they drink occasionally or whatever, or even marijuana. They used a little bit of marijuana when they're kids and they never touched it again. That's
Right.
it's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, there certainly is.
But what was for you? What was the difference? Like, what do you feel for you personally was the difference? 'Cause
Well,
everyone's different, obviously. We're
Yeah.
all individuals. God made us different.
Yeah,
But-
God didn't make us different. You know what, man? I don't really, I can't really put my finger on it, dude, because there's been a lot of memory loss from all the drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. I mean, there are some things.
Okay,
that
well, how
that
old
I
were you when you
am-
started using cocaine? How about that?
Oh God, dude, I was probably 17.
So you're still young then.
Yeah.
And that was in
About-
Oklahoma?
About 17. No, it was here.
Oh, in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the first time I ever did it, and I was like, oh wow. You know what I mean? And then I didn't do it for a while. You know what I mean?
Was that
And
a
then-
friend or what?
No, it was a friend. It would have been a friend.
at a party
Yeah,
or
or
something. They said,
something,
"Hey, do you
yeah.
want to do some
Yep.
coke or
Yep.
yeah?"
And I
Like,
snorted
sure.
some, you know what I mean? And I was like, holy moly, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that was why I had already been drinking.
So it started
You
with
know.
cocaine and then it went to methamphetamines afterwards.
Well, the weird
Or
thing
all
is...
at some point it's just whatever.
Well, the weird thing is, dude, is that I never heard of some of this stuff, dude, when I was in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that stuff, like, wasn't predominant in Oklahoma, dude.
Yep.
I mean, a bunch of hicks and cowboys and rednecks, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And some city folk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Even to this day, Oklahoma City is not even close to the size of Phoenix.
Oh no! Well, the square mileage is, but
it's
the
all
people,
spread out.
Yeah, the people, it's all spread out. But now it's just as bad, dude. Like
Yeah.
everything is run rampant everywhere. It
Everywhere,
seems like
yeah.
you know what I mean. The devil is trying to put its mark on everything. You know what
Yep.
I mean, and trying to get us just go downhill fast. You know what I mean. And of course it's losing its time. You know what I mean. So of course it wants things done faster and worse. Now since it is losing time. But I mean, the whole thing is, dude, is that the usage was really bad. It didn't just jump right away from one to another. Really, it wasn't like a super slow process either. You know what I mean? It just kind of gradually happened over time. But most of it was with friends. And you know what they say, man? When you're doing something bad, dude, you don't want to do it by yourself. You want somebody else there with you. You know what I mean? Come on, that's the human way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're group animals, man.
You know what I mean? We're just a little smarter than the other animals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But
We're still pack animals. Man.
yeah, we're still a pack animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
100%.
mean? Yep. Just like rats. Rats
Just
are
like
a pack. They're a
any
pack
process
family.
you get done, work, it's easier with more than one person to do a
Yep.
job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's labor.
Yep. And then of course you do have those every few people, you know what I mean, that like going off on their own and being like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? I want nothing to do with you.
Not
You
very
know?
many.
Not very many at all. And they're quite particular, you know what I mean? And
They're introverts.
they're definitely different, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I'm not talking smack about them because I'm kind of an introvert, but I'm an extrovert too, you know what I mean? I could talk to anybody about anything, and I can talk to anybody about everything, and then there's times where I just want to be left alone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's times where I'm just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But it's not that it just really jumped all of a sudden. I mean, I had friends that were doing stuff, and they asked me, "Hey, man, you want to do this?" And I was like, "No, dude. I don't want to do that, man. I don't even know what that is. The first time I ever done crystal, dude, like straight up, the first time I ever done crystal was at a friend's of mine place. His name was Sean, from high school. And people used to get me and him mixed up all the time. I mean, we're almost like brothers, dude. We were best friends. But his name was Sean, my name was Shane, and they get our names all screwed up. They call him Shane, they call me Sean, and we didn't really care, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this dude introduced me to crystal methamphetamines. And one Friday we went over to his uncle's house, and we smoked crystal, dude, until Sunday. And I never went to sleep. I stayed up the first time for 3 days, dude. Not even really knowing what day went into the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just oblivious of what had happened.
Sleep
you know
deprivation
what I mean?
is terrible for you.
Oh, dude. But I was young, so I could take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that it was a good thing. You know what I mean? It was a totally horrible thing. You know what I mean? But at the time, I was like, oh my God. Wow, what the hell just happened? I was like, literally, that's what I said to myself. I said, what the hell just happened? And when I went home, my dad was like,
where you been?
yeah, dude, like,
what happened for 3 days?
We tried to find you.
Yeah, how old were you?
I was 17.
Oh, so you were okay.
Yeah, I was 17,
You were
dude.
pretty young then when you started doing crystal meth. Then
Yeah, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, dude. I know people that did it, dude, when they were like 11, 12, dude. Yeah, man.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I was sheltered. Holy crap. You know what I mean? But I was also a preacher's kid.
Oh, your dad was a preacher?
Dude, my dad was a preacher, dude. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know that.
I thought I told you that like a long time ago, but I guess not. Dude, I was a preacher's kid, man. I mean, I grew up.
You didn't have a Bible, and I had to buy you a Bible, and you're a preacher's son?
I know, right? Shame on you,
it's crazy,
Shane.
Man. Crazy.
You know what though? I've had a lot of Bibles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was homeless one time in in Mesa, Arizona, dude, I used to live behind my uncle's church. I used to live behind my uncle's church in this little bitty space, dude. And a lot of people don't know that.
That you were homeless?
I was homeless and living right
How long
behind
were you
this
there
church, dude. Oh, dude, I was there for like over a month.
So you were homeless for a month, or just
dude,
right there?
No, I was homeless for a lot longer than that.
How long were you homeless for?
Oh, dude, probably pretty close to a year.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah, especially out here in Arizona. Oh my God,
it's tough,
dude.
rough
Oh,
on you.
it's horrible, dude. Living in Mesa or Phoenix, homeless will almost kill you, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, straight up, dude. I'd rather be homeless. I'd rather be a beach bum, dude.
Yeah.
In, like, San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, like,
I remember
Hawaii.
when I was, like, a teenager,
You know?
we went to Hawaii once, and we were on Waikiki Beach, and I was like, there's a lot of homeless people there. I'm like, I could be homeless here.
Dude,
I was
straight
like,
up,
I
right?
got 100%. I know how to juggle. I'll practice juggling all day long. I'll just juggle all day long.
Professional beach bum juggler,
Yeah.
dude.
And I'll just put a hat out. I just need money for food. I'll just literally sleep on the beach.
Right.
It's 70 degrees year round.
yeah.
It's gonna rain, but it'll rain for like 2 seconds. I'll find some shelter. I'll be fine. Like, there's a public bathroom. We use the bathroom. There's public showers. I'll shower here.
Dude, you can shower in the ocean.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's a little different. Yeah, it's a little hard too, though.
you get salt water, but like still, like Arizona is like it's hot in the summer. It's cold in the winter. It's like it can get like 30s at night. You can freeze to death in Arizona.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Phoenix.
No,
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
And then
it does get really cold.
in the summer, it's like 100 at night.
Dude,
During the day, it's 110.
Yeah.
You're just sweating. You get dehydrated.
Dude, dehydrated
and then
so fast,
people trying to fight you or take your stuff. And
Yeah.
when you're homeless, like this is terrible. People don't.
man. People have no idea.
People don't
dude.
understand, man.
They-
I was
they
helping
don't.
people downtown, with my friend Pat, and the homelessness is such a problem. It's such a problem, man. I don't know what the answer is though, and it
You
wasn't
know
all drugs.
Yeah.
People that I met, when we were making these lunches, and praying over people, and so many of them just seem schizophrenic, like they're crazy, like they're crazy people, like they're never gonna have a job,
Right.
There's no there. So how are they gonna have money for a home? Nobody's gonna just give you money. You know what I mean? Like how do you put those people in homes? Like how do you not have them living in the streets? And I don't know the answer to that, man. There's no mental places anymore in Arizona. They closed them all
I
down.
know, yeah, the one on 24th Street.
They closed them.
Whatever it was, yeah, they
Yeah.
closed that one down.
Mental health
and they
facilities are
held
closed.
a lot of people
So
in there,
a lot of these people are dangerous too, because, you know, when you're schizophrenic, many times you think people are the devil, or you think it's a demon, and they'll try to stab you. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
I had a guy stare me down once, and I had a drink like this, and he looked at me like this. He smacked. We're handing out
He
food.
smacked it out of your hand?
No, I had it like on a counter, and then or like a table that we had the food on, and he just walked up to me and looked at that, and smacked it, and like stared at me like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm not."
And you're
doing
like, "I'm not going to do anything.
I'm not gonna do anything."
I'm just going to leave you alone."
And then
You know
I
what I
hand him
mean?
his food, and he walked
Dude.
away. I'm like, "That guy's crazy." I'm
You're
like,
are
"I'm
you
glad
hearing voices, bro?
I'm
You know what I
glad he
mean?
didn't have like a kitchen knife and didn't just go like that,
Yeah,
man." Like,
wouldn't
I would have
let
like,
him-
"What?"
and,
I'm stabbed.
and I know you pretty good, and you know me pretty good. We wouldn't never let him get that close to us.
No,
You know what I mean?
and no, I
It's-
was, because I was at the time. I felt so much empathy for these people.
Right.
I wasn't worried about safety, but after that, I was like, these
My
people,
safety's important.
these people are not, they're not all there, you know. Like, and I can't even get mad at the guy because he thinks that I'm something that I'm not, you know, because he's
Right.
not seeing correctly, you know.
Well, you know,
and I didn't think he was on drugs. I thought he was literally just a crazy
Well,
person.
see, now add,
you know?
now add drugs
some
to
of
that.
some of them, yeah, are on drugs
Oh my God.
and crazy.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Now it's 100 times worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I just
but
don't
we as
the answers to
right.
that.
But we as addicts and alcoholics that aren't practicing today, but was practicing back then, we used to surround our people with with those type of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the funny thing is, dude, is that people could say, "Shane, man, you were really bad," and I was really bad. Okay,
Yeah.
on my own level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In so many certain levels, I was really bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it took rehab to really help me. You know, the thing is, though, is I know the power of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how many times God cleaned me out, dude? Like 3 times, dude. Like totally cleaned me out.
Cleaned you out? What do you mean?
Oh, dude. I mean,
Cleaned up or like destroyed you?
no, like cleaned me out, dude. Like he had took everything out of me, dude. Like I mean, like the drugs, the alcohol, and everything, dude. Yeah, not too many people.
Like cleaned you up. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, like clean me out though, dude. I mean, like legitly, like I had no suffering after the fact. I had no shakes. I had nothing, dude, from all the alcohol and drugs that I had done. He had cleaned me out, dude. Like the power of God had cleaned me out. You know what I mean? And
But then you went back. So
and then I went back, man. Ain't that just sad, dude? I went back, you know what I mean? But the Bible talks about that as the dog going back to its vomit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not really realizing, you know, really how bad it was. You know what I mean? And of course, dude, the devil comes in and see, that's just what people sometimes I don't think understand. Is that, you know, the devil comes in and he says, or it says, it's not a he, it's an it. And so I had to rephrase my thinking a lot. It says, dude, you weren't that bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Come on. You got this. You can do it again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the sad case is, Mike, is that there's so many of us, we listen to it.
Oh yeah.
And we go, man, maybe we weren't so bad. But, you know, that's the reason why Bob and Bill made the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. They said, hey, remember who you was. Remember who you are. You know, Christ says, remember who you are
Because
in
once
me.
you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic.
That's
Even
what
if
it
you're
said.
clean.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're trying to
You're an
demoralize
addict.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that they're
So you don't trick yourself into thinking that
exactly
it's fine. You're fine.
that I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of Christians out there. I love you guys, man. There's a lot of Christians out there. You're Christian. I'm Christian. There's a lot of Christians out there, man, that beat down that saying, oh, you're not an addict. My uncle said that to me one time.
Yeah.
He said, you're not an addict. I said, shut up. He looked at me and he goes, what? And I said, shut up, man. I said, what, are you trying to kill me? I said, are you trying to kill me? And he looked at me and he said, no. And I said, then don't ever say that.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, but you're not. And I said, oh, but I am.
Yeah.
I said, just because you're not doesn't mean I'm not.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm like, you don't have
He
to.
just doesn't understand, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the fight that I had to go through to get clean and sober. You know what I mean? He was a hard drinker back in his day with my dad.
Yeah.
You know, and power to my uncle. You know what I mean? Power to God. You know, he just said, I'm done, and he quit, and he never did it again.
Yeah.
Well, more power to you, dude. Right on. Well, I wasn't so lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It took rehab. It took them showing me who I am, dude. Who I really am. You know what I mean? Am I a child of God? Absolutely, man. God loves me. But let me tell you something, man. God ain't going to do everything for you. You know what I mean? He expects you, you know what I mean, to do some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about God, though. You know what I mean? Is that you know
have free will.
we're not brats. You know what I mean?
Still have free will.
That's right. We're not brats. He doesn't make us brats. He doesn't do everything for us, and then we think that he should do everything for us all the time. You know what I mean? He will do his part, but he expects us to do our part too. The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous says that he will do for you for which you cannot do for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous says. It says that he will do for you what you cannot do for yourself. Okay? That's that psychic change. That's that spiritual change. So you can't just do that yourself. Spiritualism, there's two different sides of spiritualism. People don't realize that. I think people are forgetting spiritualism. There's a dark spiritualism and there's a light spiritualism. You know what I mean? There's the dark side of the devil, okay, of evil, and then there's the light side of God. You know what I mean? That's it, light and dark. You know, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, and that's okay, man. You know what I mean? I'm not bashing on any religion or anything, but spiritualism is a different deal, dude. You know what I mean? That doesn't deal with religion. Spiritualism is spiritualism. You know what I mean? Either you believe in God and you believe in the devil. You know what I mean? Spiritualism is light and dark. You know what I mean? You can live either way. You can allow either one to affect your life. You know what I mean? And and I'll put it like this. Okay. Who was that dude that cut everybody up? Was it Dahmer?
One of them, yeah.
Okay, Dahmer. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely was not living a light of spiritual life. You know what I mean? That dude was dark.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That dude was run by the devil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Let's put him into play. Okay. He was light. You know what I mean? He said, "I am the light. I am the life." You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a difference of spiritualism. You know what I mean? And the thing is that, I want to grow along the lines of a good spiritualism. You know what I mean? Relationship with God. You know what I mean? I put that in there because the thing is that none of us can just change ourselves. You know what I mean? There has to be something there that helps you. You know what I mean? The grace of God is a wonderful thing, man. You know what I mean? People say, I don't really believe in God, but he believes in you enough that he's given you the ability to do something good like that.
Have you ever seen the movie Constantine?
Oh, you mean that? Oh, yeah, with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts in the Bible, in the movie, is this guy's like, the lady. She's like, I don't believe in the devil. He's like, that's okay. He believes in you.
Oh yeah, you bet he
believes in you. I was like,
oh
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I get it, man. So what was So you end up going to like rehab a couple times then?
No,
or?
I've only been to rehab one time.
Okay. Were you forced to, like, for court order or stuff, or was it you're like, I have to do it myself, or with family step in, or how did that?
Oh my God, you ready for this, bro? Okay, so I was working for a company called Farnsworth Wholesale Plumbing. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's out of Mesa, Arizona. Okay, mm-hmm. They're a Mormon company. Mm-hmm. Okay, and because Mormons found Mesa,
Yep.
And so there's a lot of Mormons there. Not making fun of you guys, Mormons, all right. So anyways, okay, so there was a guy named Jack Stapley there. Okay, and he was like the big dog. Okay, and I had been on a run.
With methamphetamines.
I had been on a run with methamphetamines, for like
intravenously.
Oh, dude, for like a while, dude, okay? And this buddy of mine was like, dude, where are you? What are you doing? And I'm like, don't even ask. I went to work.
You weren't homeless, though.
No, I wasn't homeless then. I actually had an apartment on the 3rd-story floor of an apartment complex off of, Amoskull and almost Southern.
Yep.
It was right behind the Circle K. Okay, and I had a decent apartment, man. I mean, it was okay, you know what I mean? I was doing good for a little bit, you know. I was going to meetings and stuff, and I just fell back, you know what I mean? And I was doing stupid stuff. And but I had a job, and it wasn't very long, you know, because there's some of us addicts, you know what I mean? We get to using it, and we can't go to work, you know what I mean? We can't, you know what I mean? That's just kind of who we are, or who we were, you know what I mean? So I'm living that lifestyle, and I finally decide I got up enough nerve to go to work. You know what I mean? And I'm high, dude. And I remember this. And I go to work, and the big boss man called me in. I had did a piss test, and I had failed it. And I went and did another piss test, and I passed it because I cheated. And so he brought me into his office, and he was talking to me, and he was like, look, dude, you know, we're going to have to fire you. And you know, me, I'm like, oh, dude, really? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Come on, man. I knew why. You know, so I looked at him and I said, listen, Jack, I said, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I said, I'm an addict. You know, that was the first time I really honestly really think that I really got really
Admitted
honest
it.
with another human being.
Yeah.
Like, for real. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I laid my
Yeah.
heart on the line with this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, Shane, we'll help you. And I said, whoa.
All right,
I
stop
said,
right now. Stop. I think
What?
I want to end it right there, and then we're going to do another one.
When, like some other time?
Right now. We'll do
okay.
another one.
Okay. We're
So
gonna take like a
we'll
little
say
break then?
that's the end,
Okay.
and we'll continue right there. So continue. I'll just stop it right there at 51 minutes and 30
Oh,
seconds.
my Lord. I don't
Alright.
want to keep you here all day.
No, it's cool. Finish.
Okay, so, all right. So, anyway, so I talked to the man, and I'm using real names.
So he said
by
he's
the
going to
way.
help you.
Yeah, he says, no, we're going to help
We're
you.
going to help you.
And I'm like,
Company.
who is we, dude? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I even asked him. I'm in his office. I'm in his personal office. And I'm like, who is we? Who are you? What, you got a mouse in your pocket? And
Yeah.
the dude, you know, that's the ultimate saying, you know. And he says, he said, no. And I said, are you talking about the Mormons? Like, you know,
Yeah.
the religion, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
said, well, yeah. And I said, dude, I'm Pentecostal by religion.
Yeah.
And I said, and they can't even help me. What do you think you're gonna do?
Yeah.
I said, please. I said, don't
Were there
insult my
Pentecostals that
intelligence.
try to help you, or
No, man. No religion could help me.
no? But I mean, did you have any people from your church or your uncle's church or whatever try to help you, or nobody from the church? I mean, I'm saying, did anyone from
I'm
the church
gonna be
step in?
honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe one person.
Yeah.
Really tried to help me. Yeah. Because they maybe perhaps they understood. I mean, I don't really know, man, because you know, and my battery's almost gonna die on my phone. Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Do you have a charger?
I do. Here.
Can
This is
I
what we'll
plug
do.
it? Can I plug it in?
This is what we're gonna do. Hold.
If you don't mind.
No. We'll keep running it like this.
Okay. Yeah, and stick it over there. I don't care because I got that thing in my ear. Or turn it sideways. It don't matter. They can hear me. Dude, I really appreciate it. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Oh, dude, look at that, man. See, we should have done that from the very get-go.
Okay.
Okay,
Continue.
so- okay,
They're gonna
so-
help you.
Yeah.
Nobody from your church helped you,
Yeah, nobody really
but the
from
Mormons are
church.
gonna help you.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm-
kind of
I
said.
don't-
Yeah, no, I was
I'm
like,
not Mormon, but if
right, yeah.
here's the thing, like, I don't have a denomination anymore. I go to a church. I don't even know what their denomination is. I go to a church. I read the Bible. The end. I don't have a denomination. I was raised Mennonite.
No, I remember.
but-
Remember I came to your church that one time.
Oh yeah. And but I don't think that I don't know what the right way is. I try to go, what does God want me to do? And I try to do that. And I
Right.
don't go, what does the church want me to do? I don't care what the church wants me to do. I really don't.
All right.
Like, if the church came to me, and I love everyone there, I love the pastors, but if they said, Mike, this is what we want you to do, I'll go, okay, let me pray about it and see if that's what God wants me to do.
Yeah, see,
I
that's
don't,
just it.
I don't, I
Right.
don't care, you know, Methodist, Lutheran, whatever.
Right.
It doesn't, you know, there's a lot of just infighting, you know, about
Yeah.
like little things of the Bible and this and that, and I just don't like that kind of stuff anymore. So I don't do any of that anymore. I'm
Right.
like, I read the Bible, and I teach my kids about what I believe it is trying to tell me
All right.
and what God wants, and then that's it. We try to go and follow Him. That's
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
Like, so if, you know, the Mormons are much different religiously, and some people don't consider them Christians. I don't know. You know, do they have a different interpretation of it? Yeah. But, like, are they doing good things? Okay,
Yeah.
then that's cool.
Yeah, you
Let's
know.
just do good things, man.
Right.
I don't care what religion you are.
Right.
If you're doing good things, I don't care if you're Islam, if you're feeding people that are starving,
That-
I'm
that's
all in,
great.
man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that-
give you
yeah.
money to help you feed people that need to be fed. Like,
Yeah. You know.
that's God. You know, like, that's God doing work. You know, like,
Yeah.
He can work through anybody. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah.
I-
He can even work through evil people. You,
Yeah,
just, you
for
don't even know.
100%. So
You know, it's kind of funny.
you know, like, if you're like, oh, you know, the Mormons, whatever, but if they're gonna help you, awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
So anyway, so I was like, so I asked him, you know, who is we? You know what I mean? He said, you know, the Mormons and I, you know, basically. And I was like, dude, you can't even help me. I explained to him. I said, listen to me, dude. I said, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, man. I said, look, there's only one person that can help me. And he looked at me and he goes, who? And I said, God. I was like, that's it, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, God is the only one that's going to deliver me from something like this, man. Yeah, I didn't tell him I was shooting up. You know what I mean? He had no idea, you know.
Yeah.
And I asked
Well,
him.
they seeing stuff in your urine, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, but they still can't tell that you're, you know, doing it with a
Just-
needle or anything.
oh,
they
they
just,
just
yeah, they
know
just,
that something's in there.
Yeah, something's in there. So I told him, I said, listen, I said, this is the thing, man. I said, I don't know, I got a problem. I said, I am a problem. I said, I get it. And I said, so I tell you what, this is what I'm going to ask of you. And really I was asking God, you know what I mean? But the man that I was asking, listened to the voice of God. I said, listen, I said, I need help, man. I said, or I'm going to die. And the thing is, he didn't realize is God gave me an ultimatum, many days before that. I was hiring a kite, dude, in my house, man. And God talked to me and he said, Shane, I'm tired of this. And I said, what are you tired of? And he said, I'm tired of the way you're living your life. And I was like, what? Now, when I say that, people are like, oh, what do you mean?
you're high
Yeah,
and-
I mean, how do you know it was the voice of God?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, because when I'm getting ready to tell you, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, dude, that, you know what I mean? God gets tired. He does. God gets tired sometimes. And then he decides what's going to happen. And he usually ends up giving us a possibility of something else. Okay. And so, when I was all high and God said, okay, listen, man, he goes, something needs to happen in your life. And he goes, cause I'm done. He said, and all you're trying to do is kill yourself.
yeah.
And he said, Shane, I love you, but this is it right here.
Yeah.
And the only way that I can really,
Just a little bit. That's all.
okay, the only way I can really tell you that what it was like, and I didn't see it, so I'm not going to lie. I didn't see him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The way that I could picture it inside my mind when he said that is he was standing there with both hands open out. And he said, son, pick one or the other because you're getting one.
Like the red pill, the blue pill.
Yeah, right. No doubt, huh? Right. You want to take a ride or you want to go to sleep for the rest of your life? And he said, do you want to live or do you want to die? I'm giving you one this time. And dude, and somebody had told me, I think it was my cousin Jonathan, dude. My cousin Jonathan told me, he said, Shane, he said, dude, your life is in shambles, man. He goes, you have already dug your grave. He goes, as a matter of fact, he goes, you dug way past that. Now you're way out past the mountaintop. He
Well,
said,
you weren't homeless yet at this point.
yeah, well, I'd already done the homeless
Oh,
thing.
you already did the homeless
Yeah,
thing.
and
Okay.
Now
You made it out of
I'm
homeless.
back up on top now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm back somewhere. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he told me, he said, Shane, he goes, you're like beyond the mountain. You know what I mean? Like you're out on the ledge, and he goes, you're further out than that. And God, he's got you in his hand, and you're not even near the ledge anymore.
Yeah.
And so that was his perception of when he had seen in my life. And so I was like, oh man, I was like, dude. So I told the guy, I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna die, dude, if I don't get help. And I said, so I'm gonna ask you one favor, please, sir. And he said, sure. What is that, Shane? And I said, I need help, and I need to find a place to go into. And dude, I looked in all kinds of different places, dude. I went down the stairs because I was upstairs, and I came down the stairs and I opened up the yellow pages. we didn't have, Google wasn't running it was.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed the yellow pages and I looked it up, and I found Chandler Valley Hope. Excuse me. And I said, God, if this is a place, man, I need you to open up the doors. So I went and called them, and they said, you know what, we got a bed. Get in here right now.
Yeah. And
dude, I did. I was like, oh, I found a place, you know what I mean? Please don't fire me yet, because I had insurance. And I had mental insurance and stuff like that, dude.
Nice.
And by their insurance stuff, you know, they were supposed to give you a chance to get clean and sober if you admitted that you had a problem.
Yeah.
So I did. I totally admitted. That's the first time I ever really fully admitted, you know what I mean, that I was helpless and I was powerless over my addiction. And, you know, and that's the thing is that's the first step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, the first step says that we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, and I say / drugs, because Bill was a drug addict and an alcoholic. You know, a lot of people don't identify that, but he was a pill popper.
Oh, okay.
So he was an alcoholic and an addict. So alcohol, and then our lives had become unmanageable. Dude, my life was unmanageable, dude.
Yeah.
Like full on, dude. The only person.
Did you have kids at that point yet, or?
Yeah, they were living with my dad.
They lived with your dad.
Yeah, my dad took my kids away.
That's a good thing, though, right?
Yeah, that was a good thing. Yeah. And the Mesa.
Did that ever? That never made you pause ever?
Oh, of course it did, dude.
Yeah.
I almost blew my head off, dude, with a Tech 9.
A Tech 9?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like straight up, dude. I pulled the trigger, it didn't go off.
What?
Yeah, dude. In my mobile home.
When because that your dad took him away, or because the police took him away, or?
And plus, I was active in addiction. You know what I mean? And you know, my dad took my kids.
What'd you have a Tech 9 for? Just because you want like guns, or just?
Nah, dude, because my dad was having some problems, and I was having some problems with some people, and you know, because of that, I was like, I already had a 12 gauge shotgun, a home defender, a Winchester home defender, or it was a Remington or something like that. And I had that, but I wanted something a little bit more inconspicuous. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude.
Tech 9s are really hard to control, though.
Dude. And so, well, and it wasn't full automatic. It was semi.
Okay. But even that, still, they're not.
No,
they're accurate.
I mean, it's a 9mm, you know what I mean? So you got to find the right bullet. And I found the right bullet that it wouldn't get jammed.
Well,
you know what I mean? So I found the right bullet.
It jammed when you pulled the trigger, though.
Yeah, that thing just didn't go off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I had bought that gun.
Did you feel like that was God? Like?
Oh, yeah, dude. Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Because after I pulled the trigger and it didn't work, right? And this is before I went to rehab. When I pulled the trigger and it didn't work, I was like, oh, man. Because what was running through my mind is my kids don't have me no more. I don't have my kids. You know, I'm broken. I'm hurting. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like you know.
The pain was just
dude, it was so deep,
no
dude.
hope.
No one will ever know how deep that was. You know what I mean? Like, you know. And, you know, and I felt, and of course the devil was like, just take your life.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not a father. You're nothing. You know, I was hearing all that.
Yeah.
So I pulled the trigger, dude, and it didn't go off, and I got pissed, dude. I mean, I really did. I got pissed, man. And I threw the gun down, and I walked into my room because I had my 12 gauge. Yeah, you ready for this, bro? Mm-hmm. So I grabbed the 12 gauge, and I walked back in where I was going to sit so they could see my dead body.
Yeah.
Okay. And I pointed the rifle at my face, and I was putting it inside my mouth.
Yep.
And I was thinking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that was really wrong of you to do how you did stuff. You know, I was talking about my dad, you know what I mean? And I was like, that was really wrong the way that you did it. And I said, but I'll teach you.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, dude, this voice, dude, I'll never forget it. It wasn't like super deep. It wasn't like, oh, I'm God. You know what I mean? It was like, Shane, I love you. But if you pull this trigger, it's going to work. And you will meet me face to face right now. Is that what you want? And bro, it was almost like monotone.
Yeah.
I mean, there
Very
was
clean.
no spikes. There was no spikes in the voice.
Just
there
clear,
was no,
yeah.
oh, dude, it was, I mean, dude, look at that, dude. Look at that. You see that? Dude, you see the goosebumps,
Yeah,
man?
I can see
dude,
goosebumps.
holy.
It's a dark thing, man.
Dude, I was like, oh my God. And he was like, for real. And I took the gun out of my mouth, man, and I started crying, dude.
Yeah.
I just started crying, man.
It's a deep, hard thing, man.
Dude, and I was like, God, man, I'm like, look
a lot
at
of
me.
people, when they shoot themselves, they say they do it because they want to show people, like, look what you did to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just that they want to end themselves, but they want to hurt someone else too when they do it, you know.
Right.
And they want it messy, so they want to make it even uglier, you know, like, and because a gun is going to make a big,
dude,
you know, like,
especially a
you
shotgun.
you could just turn the gas on your house and just sit there and go to sleep, and you just die asleep,
Right.
you know, and they'd find you, and you know you would be in a casket on this, but when you blow your head off, it's a closed casket. It's you know, it's a different thing, and then it's fast, but it's not the fast part. It's the I want to show people, you know.
Right.
So
I mean,
and I get that, you know, you were angry that your dad did that, and you think you said he did it a wrong way, or you think, or
Well,
just at the time it just felt like the wrong way.
It was at the time it was the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was a good thing to do, you know, but it was the wrong way of doing it the way that he did it. You know what I mean?
Did your kids
And
know you had a problem?
Oh no, dude! They never seen me high or using.
How old were they?
Oh, they were little, dude.
Little,
I mean,
tiny?
you met Shayla and War later on,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, they were little, dude. They were only
Oh, and
like
I knew
2
you were
and
already
3.
clean, right?
Yeah, when you met me, I was clean and sober.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago.
dude, that was a long time ago, huh?
Yeah. That was like 15
You remember when I
years
first
ago.
came walking through the door?
It was a long time ago, yeah. I remember I want to fight. I'm like, okay, well, let's fight first. I remember I tried to spar you. I was like, well, let's fight. Tell me that you want to fight after this.
You know,
First time.
It was, you know, but man, life was crazy, dude. So anyway, so I asked the Mormon guy, right, to not fire me, to give me a chance, and I went in there, and I talked to a doctor, and the doctor talked to me, and he was like, you know, you're crazy, dude. And I was like, yeah, I already know that, dude. And he was like, listen, I'm going to put you on some stuff. I'm going to put you on Risperdal, which was from hearing voices. Okay. I'm not schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But it was because I was counseled by somebody that I do love. And the person said, Shane, have you ever thought this, that you had done so much drugs that you broke yourself down spiritually so bad that you opened up the doors to everything. Your life was completely opened up. Your spiritual life was completely opened up to whatever is out there.
Yeah.
And they were like, you think about that? And I was like, no, not
This
really.
is a Pentecostal person, though.
Just somebody that believed in God.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily Pentecostal, but somebody I took counsel in, you know.
Yep.
And they said, have you thought about that? And I said, no, I didn't really think about that. And they were like, well, that's probably what happened, huh? And I was like, okay, you know, whichever, you know what I mean? So this guy was like, dude, you know, you hear voices? I said, yeah, I do. But dude, I mean, dark stuff. I don't mean just like, hey, you know, why don't you go, you know, go do this and go do, no, I mean, dark stuff, dude. Things that real scary movies that claim to be nonfiction are all about. Yep. You know what I mean? And, scared the devil clean out of me, dude. You know what I mean? Like seriously. And so, you know, I went into the program, and it was usually a 28-day program. They they supplied me a 37-day program.
I think you need another week or so.
and they red
9 more
tagged me.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they red tagged me, which means that I couldn't go anywhere.
Oh.
You know, I was the craziest person in that place,
Okay.
according to them.
All right.
And I was the most highly voted for dying.
Oh.
Oh yeah, dude. They were like, "You're gonna
Like withdrawals?
die." No, I mean, like they were afraid that I was just gonna leave and go get high and die.
Oh, leave and die. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and so they red tag me. What they call red tag, and they have your name up on the board, you know, and they tag it with this red flag, you know, and they're like, you can't go anywhere, do anything. Your family can come and see you after a first week. Your family can come and see you. They can bring you stuff. My sister Gayla brought me a bunch of chocolate, and this is what she said. She said, I heard chocolate's really good for coming off of stuff. I was like, I don't really care. I like chocolate anyways. You know what I mean? I like candy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really care. I was like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And dude, I mean, she bought me a big old bag, dude, right? So, I mean, I was like the chocolate king there, dude, for a while. You know what I mean? But, you know, and so I started, they start you off with like class, and then you learn about addiction. You learn about what the drugs did to your mind. You learn about the alcoholism. There's so many things that they taught you in such a short time, man. And I mean, it was almost like school, dude. You know what I mean? Like high school.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit in a class, dude, from like 8 o'clock in the morning, dude, until like noon. And then, I mean, with some breaks, and then you had lunch, and they presented you lunch. They gave you lunch and all this other stuff, dude. And I began to be taught really who I was. You know what I mean? And then they talked about, you know, like your past and like the past of your family, and they got into that type. And so there was a lot of counseling too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would invite family to come in and sit with me and talk with me and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Good stuff, man.
Oh, dude, like powerful stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that people don't get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In sobriety.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. Like, sometimes you don't have important talks that you should have unless something really terrible goes wrong, and then like you have to have the talk, you know. But maybe things would have been better if we just had this talk a lot earlier and explain things, you know, and talk. I've had to take a couple. I had a couple talks with my family, or I've had one talk with my dad once. That was like, why did I wait until I was 39 years old to have this talk, which is actually this year. But I was like, why did I wait this long to have this talk with him, you know? Because it's just like vulnerable stuff that you don't want to, you know, you don't want to admit that how weak you are, especially as a man, I think.
It's
even
right
easier,
there.
I think,
It's
for a
worse
man
on
to go,
men.
you just, you know, you don't want to admit that you're weak, you know? And I think that's the problem with the whole sobriety thing where, you know, admitting that you're a problem. You have to admit that you're weak.
Right.
And that you're not strong enough to do it. And you need God to do it. And then some people, their problem with God is that they don't like the fact that he is bigger than they are. You know? And like, we want to think that we're bigger than we are. We're stronger than we are. We're tougher than we are. I don't know how many people that I've come in to Jiu Jitsu even, and then I might have to let them know that you're not as tough as you think you are. Like, I understand you're 6'4", but like, I have a guy that's 5'6" here that's gonna beat your ass. Like, you just need to understand that. Like, it's a humbling experience, you know. And some people don't like to be humble. They don't like to be humbled, even though life is literally humbling you, taking away your family, taking away your kids. It's like you just want to admit you don't want to admit it. You just want to like keep lying to yourself, like, nah, I got this.
Good.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm strong. You know, I don't. You know, so like,
Didn't you see my sagging bicep? You know what I mean? I'm so strong. Did you see my sagging tricep?
Yeah.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like, I just think sometimes people don't want to admit that.
Right.
You know, or I don't think most people want to admit that
they don't
want to
admit defeat.
Yeah, and
know?
or that things aren't right. Like, and that you're not a perfect human. There's no such thing as one, but you need to be constantly working at it. But people don't want to, and even myself, you know, like conversations with my wife that you avoid, because man, I don't want to get in a fight, but like we're not resolving it because you have to have the fight. Like, It could be a civil, like people don't understand. You could have a fight that's civil.
You're right.
Like
It
where
doesn't
I
have to
just
be all
explain
dragged
that this is bothering me, or they can explain what's bothering them, and then you listen to them and then repeat it back. And then sometimes when you repeat it back, you get to hear, oh, it sounds different coming out of my mouth. You know, like if you said, Mike, I don't like the fact that you're lying to me all the time. And then I repeat back, so you're saying that you don't like the fact that I'm lying. And when it comes out of my mouth, like, it just sounds different. You know what I mean?
Does that make sense? Did you take counseling classes? Who was it that said something like that? There was an old counseling class, okay? And they talked about that.
No.
They talked about that.
Carl Jung did it. So I believe it was Carl Jung. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, had this thing where he would, when people get in arguments, and especially relationship arguments,
right,
and you want to solve something, you explain the other person's view in front of them,
and they have to acknowledge it and
they have to acknowledge and repeat it back to you. And when you do that, you hear it and you're like, oh, it's just weird. Like our body's like, oh
Really?
yeah, I am totally lying to you, or whatever the situation is. Like,
right.
And you don't. Sometimes we don't realize it until it comes out of our own mouth.
Right, what we're doing.
Yeah, and we can also make sure that we're even understanding it correctly, because communication is so stupid. Like humans are so dumb, that maybe I didn't understand it, and then I repeated back to you, and you're like, no, that's not what I said. And like, okay, what did you say? And they're like, I said this, and then I finally say it right. And then sometimes that's the click. Like, oh, now I understand. I wasn't understanding, and then, or you thought you were explaining it well, and you were explaining yourself terribly, and I just wasn't understanding because you're shitty explaining yourself. So when you have the conversations, though, that like you can get through things sometimes, it's just they're tough and they hurt. They hurt, not just mentally but physically. Sometimes you physically like get anxious and anxiety from it, and like pressure and like stress can physically harm you.
Oh yeah.
So you want to avoid that. And humans always want to avoid pain. We always want to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So same thing with drugs. Like sometimes I think you can just avoid the pain of life and just do drugs, and it's easier because it's easy. It's instant pleasure. Like in an addict, that as soon as I do the thing that I'm doing, I know that I already know that what the response is. I know it's going to feel good.
Right.
And then you ignore the fact. The bad part, of course, like the coming down.
What's coming.
There's always a price to pay for it,
right, and there's always a price to pay for everything.
Yeah, there's a price to pay for everything. And drugs is a steep one.
Oh, dude,
and addiction is a steep one,
Yeah, it is.
Even like drinking, last night I had some drinks with my wife, and I told her this morning, I'm like, I didn't think I drank that much at all. We were just watching movies, and I had a few beers, and I woke up feeling terrible today, and I had to wrestle, but I didn't drink like, I don't even know. I'm not even sure how many I drink. And maybe I did drink way more because I wasn't counting or whatever. And I was cleaning it up. So every time I just, for my wife, I don't like to make a mess. So if I drank this can, I immediately would go wash it out at my house, and I put it in recycling. Yeah. So I think maybe I just wasn't knowing, and I just got away from me or whatever. And I woke up and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have drank. I just got. That's how easy it is. I think it is that it can get away from you. Like, oh, it's fine, and then like, what? Suddenly I drank too much.
What the hell just happened?
But it doesn't make me personally want to go tonight. I'm going to drink again. Like right. I won't.
Well, and it doesn't have that other effect on you where you say, well, I don't think that's working good enough. I think I'm going to go smoke some crack.
No.
You know what I mean?
Beers are fine.
That just wasn't satisfying enough. I think I'm going to go snort me a big old line of Crystal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not,
it's not,
and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? That's.
It's, I like drinking beers, but it's not, I can do without it. Right. Like I can have fun without it. Right. I know I can have fun without it. I have friends that I can hang out with that we don't need to drink anything, and I'm going to have a ton of fun. And I don't need that in life to have fun.
Now, see, with me,
but I like it. Different. But it's not like I'm not saying I don't like drinking beer, because it's true. I love drinking beer. It's fun. And now I've got a taste for it. So now it's like, I can have it with a meal, and I actually like the meal better because I have a beer with it or something.
Well, but see, that's different.
But I don't like have 15 of them.
Right. But see, that's different.
And then wake up in the morning and drink again. Like I just don't do that.
Now, see, a lot of people ain't going to agree with me either on this. Do I believe that everybody's an alcoholic? Hell no. Come on, man. I'm not stupid,
Yeah. But there's certain people that can't do that.
Right. Like me, you know what I mean? I have an allergy to alcoholism. Yeah. I have an allergy to drugs.
Yeah.
Now, do I believe that truly that there is a normal usage of drug use? No, I don't. I believe that's bullcrap. I think that we use that. For me, okay, I'm only talking about me here, but anybody can identify. I think that's bullcrap. You know what I mean? Can I use like normal people that use crystal? Hello. There's nothing normal about using crystal methamphetamines. I mean, come on, get off your high rocker, okay? I'm not making fun of you.
You know who invented crystal meth?
Yeah, it was a German guy.
Nazis,
and,
yeah.
And he actually did it so that the SS could
stay
tired. Awake.
Yeah,
longer.
Because when they blitzkrieg, they would invade a country and it'd take 72 hours.
Dude.
And they knew how many hours it's going to take. So when they would invade, they go, it's going to take 72 hours. Well, a soldier can't maintain vigilance for 72 hours.
Yep.
And how are we going to march these dudes? And then they don't have enough to eat. Well, cool thing. I invented this thing called crystal method.
And they wouldn't even call it crystal meth back then. It was something else. But it had ene in it. It had INE in it.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing though. And then the U.S. soldiers, they were giving them no dose, which is just high caffeine though.
Same thing basically.
But
when you break it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I don't think it doesn't give you the euphoric feeling or whatever the methamphetamine does.
It doesn't give you. Well, see, and the thing
they were saying that it would also make them feel like they're invincible too.
That's right. And it would make them very mean.
Mean,
dude.
yeah.
Very, very ruthless.
They said it would give them disassociation from humanity. So it was much easier to kill a child, much easier to rape a woman.
Right.
You have a disassociation with any morality whatsoever.
Right. Which tells you what? Which tells you what?
That it's evil.
That it's evil.
That's evil. Yeah.
There you go, dude.
That's straight evil.
What I mean? Like some German dude made up something that was evil for you to do evil and more evil with. Yep. You know what I mean? Like the two wrongs definitely did not make it right. You know what I mean? It made
the U.S. does it for plane. People don't know that a lot of fighter pilots take. Yeah. It's different, but it's
and a lot of our troops do too.
They take
not
stimulants.
Told it's in their food.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Stimulants. Yep.
Yep. And the thing is, and I'm not talking bad. I love my country. Yeah. I'm a full.
I'm not like bashing the United States. I'm saying like it's still to this day they use forms of it because if I have to do a flight, a bombing run, and I'm flying 14 hours straight, like. You have to be super focused, and a lot of things can go wrong, and you need to be able to like zero in. So they give these people, and so they give people they take things that help them do that, But anyway, sorry, I went way off subject.
Dude. No, so
I've been pretty good.
So what the hell were we talking about?
I've been actually pretty good with these things. Like I sometimes I can get off talking when I talk to people, but like. For so far, these interviews, I'm really proud of myself. I've stayed on, but now this time I totally.
Well, you know what it is, man. I
was talking about methamphetamines, and I was saying that drinking. I drank, and you said that you were saying that most drugs, like you don't think there's any kind of benefit. It's just it causes evil for most drugs.
Right. You know what I mean? And that there's not really a normal usage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm really trying to get down to. I'm trying to get down to.
You can't kind of do it.
And
be okay.
Yeah, no, that ain't the way that those things work.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coca. You know what I mean? The coca leaf was actually.
You should chew it. Actually, they still chew the leaves.
Right, so that you could breathe in high altitudes.
Yeah.
It helped you relax, and it helped your breathing thing.
I think the
not
leaves
to be
are different.
broken down into a drug, into cocaine.
Yeah, they just chewed leaves. They didn't do anything else.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Which they didn't probably turn it into powder. And all
right, exactly. You know what I mean? Which did something to you, but it didn't do nearly nothing to you like what it does. You know what I mean? When you turn it into a powder.
Yep.
But I mean, it comes down to the point to. Like we were talking about, the powerlessness of it. What are we on anyways? What are we, like an hour and a half?
Yeah, about 20 minutes, hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, so.
I'm going to cut this in two, though. I'm going to do like a 45-minute or the 50-minute, and then we'll do this second one or whatever. Or however long we go, whatever.
I thought we already did that once.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
I didn't start it over. It's just the whole thing has been an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay. So, and usually, man, when I do my story,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nobody really asks me questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I do my story, it usually lasts for about, 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But that I'm talking, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And everybody's going like this. Oh my God, he's crazy.
I've told everyone on here is that I had a friend that in high school that had a drug problem, and he was mandatory to go to these meetings, and he had nowhere to take nobody take him. So I used to take him to meetings.
I remember you
and
telling
then
me
I
about that.
went to the meetings.
Yeah.
And it's like a huge thing in my life. Like, I'm glad that I went to meetings with him. Like, I didn't have any problems, but like back then you didn't have smartphones, and I said in the other podcast too, the same thing. Like, I didn't have a smartphone, I didn't have like anything, and I didn't read books back then. Now I read. Like, now I would probably just drop him off, and I would have sat in my car and read. Like, that would be awesome for me.
Right.
But back then when I was a teenager, I didn't read nothing.
Oh no,
and
I don't think any of us did.
And
Well,
so I would go in there, and they don't ask you questions, but I used to hear these stories, and I remember thinking, like, holy crap, these people are so messed up. And I remember, like a lady had, like, some kind of, I think it was crystal, and she had it in, like, an envelope, and it fell on the carpet, and she was talking about, like, taking a dustbuster and vacuuming the carpet, and then she was, like, trying to find the crystal in the dust, in the dustbuster.
Right.
And then she was like going through it, and then she's like, I'll just smoke the dust and the fur and everything else with whatever crystal that's in there. And like, I was like, what? These people are crazy. And like, I was trying to lick the ground to try to find it. And then I just remember these stories being just crazy, and thinking, like, how did this get so bad? And for me, that was like, I don't ever want to try this. I don't even want to potentially ever have to go down this road. And
Right.
it was like good for me. Like, for me, I don't think that's for everybody that would do that and go, oh yeah, I would never do that. But like, for me, it was like, that was like, I didn't want that. I was like, I don't ever want that.
I didn't go to extremes, but I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hid stuff, and found it later on.
Yeah.
Like one time, dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm never glorifying this.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yep.
Okay. But my dad had called the police on me one time. Okay. And I was in the middle of doing some stuff when I hear, and I'm like, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? And I'm like,
At your
what?
house or your dad's
Yeah,
house?
No, dude, at my house.
Oh.
Because we only live 2 doors down from each other.
Oh, okay.
This is the sheriff's department. And I'm like, oh my God. And dude, I got stuff out on the counter, dude. And I'm like scraping it off the counter. And so I go hide it, and I open up the door, and it's two officers.
Yeah.
They're like, we're doing a wellness check. And I'm like, okay.
Wellness check?
Yeah, wellness check. That's what they call it. We're doing a wellness check. Your dad called, just checking on you. He called the police on me is what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I mean? And maybe, a little bit of checking on me.
Yeah.
But, they came in and looked at my house and went back out. You know what I mean? But, I mean, you drop stuff and you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Because this is the problem there, Mike. It becomes your God.
Oh, yeah. It's an idol.
Yeah.
You
It
idolize
becomes your God.
For
You know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
It comes to something that
I've heard people
can't-
like, the whole process is the thing, like calling the dealer, then meeting the dealer, then going to get it, then bringing it back, and then unpackaging it, and then doing your little routine, and then
Right.
doing the drugs, and then doing the thing when you're on the drugs, and then you're coming down, and then we start the process over again. Then I gotta call the dealer again, and then
Yeah.
I don't have money. Then I have to go do something,
Or you gotta
get
go
the
rip
money.
somebody off. You
Yep,
know what I mean?
yep.
Or hold somebody up. You
Yep.
know, that's a sad case, man. But it is very true.
That-
Those
the
are things
crime
that happen.
from it, yeah.
That's what
Yep.
happens. You know what I
You
mean?
need money.
Active addiction.
Yep.
So I mean, so with all that being said, though, you know what I mean? I began to realize really who I was. You know what I mean? Who I was in addiction, and then when I met my sponsor, he, like I told you before, he was a little Jewish guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in a Cocaine Anonymous meeting, and so I was listening about this little crazy Jewish guy talk about how crazy his life was, and I
Yeah.
was like, you have no idea, little Jewish man.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, but I could identify with something that he had said.
Uh-huh.
And so I asked him, I took him aside after the meeting, and I said, Brad. He goes, yeah. And I go, Brad, right? And he's like, yeah. And I go, will you be my sponsor? And he said, are you an addict and alcoholic? And I said, absolutely, dude, of the highest degree. You have no idea. And so he asked me a question, which I ask every sponsee. I have quite a few sponsees today.
Yeah.
And because I actively seek them.
Yeah.
And if
That's
they're
great.
willing,
Yeah.
then I will sponsor them.
I had a guy, the first interview that I did, came out on Wednesday, and he said that his sponsor wanted him to sponsor someone, and he said, I can't do that. Like, I'm barely taking care of myself. I'm not in a place to help someone else out, you know? And I said, I don't know all the steps, so I don't know how that works. So he lost a sponsor because the sponsor wouldn't sponsor him because he wouldn't sponsor somebody else.
So you know this person now?
Yeah.
So you give him my phone number, Mike.
To help sponsor other people, or what do you mean?
Give him my phone number.
He's sober now.
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, yeah.
But he's sponsorless.
He's not sponsoring anybody. Oh, he doesn't have a sponsor.
Yeah,
no.
he don't have a sponsor. Give him my phone number.
I don't think he has a sponsor.
Give him my phone number.
Oh, okay.
He can have my phone number.
Okay. All right.
Okay? I give you the right to give him my phone number.
I think, he talks to some other people in my gym that are sober and that have been sober.
That's cool.
And I would say there's people sponsoring him that he doesn't realize he's being sponsored.
Right. And when there is
You know what I mean? Like,
too,
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's not, we don't call them sponsors.
He's at counsel.
But he has a friend that he could call in the school. I know he does, actually, that they would tell him, I know if you feel like you're going to drink, don't
give me a call.
talk to me. Don't do it,
Yeah.
I think he has that, But if I'll ask him, hey,
Yeah.
do you, this is my friend Shane. He'll sponsor you. But I don't know. He was just, it was interesting to me when he said that because, I have a weird inclination to help people. And he was just he didn't want to do that, And I don't know. But his thing was like, he's like, every day I'm just getting through this day and sometimes this hour. And I
can relate.
He's like, so I feel maybe he just doesn't feel like he's strong enough to help someone else when he's already, struggling. And he's been sober for years, but he's still, I think the fight is still hard, for him and sometimes. And maybe he felt that he couldn't do it or whatever. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted your sponsor story.
No, dude, it's okay.
So this little Jewish guy said that asked you what?
So he asked me, in which I ask every sponsor. He asked me, he said, are you willing to go to any lengths to stay clean and sober?
Yeah.
Any lengths. And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, dude. I'm like, or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Shane Hudson's going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either I do this or forget it. I'm done. I'm going back out. I'm going to use until I die or I kill myself or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever happens, you know what I mean? Because that's when God's just going to say, okay, dude, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I had such, a knowledge of God, and I have a knowledge of God, you know what I mean? But he wanted to give me that last opportunity, you know what I mean, to notice where I was at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there, that they don't believe in God. You know what I mean? And they do this deal, you know what I mean? But here we go. What they don't realize is they don't believe in him, but his grace shines upon them.
Yeah.
His mercy still shines upon them and gives them the strength to actually do that. They just don't realize where that power is coming from.
Yeah, I heard sometimes it's one of the hardest steps for some people is to admit that there's something higher than themselves.
Right. You know what I mean? And so, which then takes us into the second step. Believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay. Sanity is a strange thing. You know what I mean? How bad is you're living in sanity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only one real power that can bring you into sanity. You know what I mean? Like straight up, there's only one person that can really bring you into sanity. And that's God. That's the one that made you. You know what I mean? Your mental capacity, because that's mental. You know what I mean? It's not just a living, but that's a mental process. Sanity, insanity. On my big book that I've had for so many years, it says from sane to from insane to sane. And that's been on that book for over 13 years. And it's still just as black as when I wrote it. I did it in a black pen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still there. And then one of my sponsees was like, oh my God, man, that's what you just talked about.
Yeah.
At this meeting I went to.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, look how dark it is. And I said, yeah, I did that like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I bought the book and it's really big. I bought the book because I couldn't see a damn thing, dude. You know what I mean? My eyesight was horrible, and I didn't have glasses, so I
really?
bought that big book so I could see
Just to
it.
see
you know?
it, yeah.
Dude, just so I could see it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I marked so much stuff out of it, dude. It was unreal, man. But you know, the thing is, dude, is a lot of people don't realize, man, is that the steps will free you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not for alcoholism. It really isn't, man.
No.
If normal people that
Did the
like have
steps?
major problems
Yeah.
actually went through the steps,
Yeah.
dude.
Making amends and
Oh
all
man,
that.
you know, clearing
Name the
away
steps real quick. I actually haven't had anyone name the steps.
Well,
name the 12 steps.
Well,
Can you name them?
I can and I can't. Okay, so
Okay.
first one is admitting that we're powerless over alcohol and drugs, that our lives become unmanageable.
Okay.
Okay, 2, came to believe that power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Number
Okay.
3, oh my God, it's a third step prayer, but oh my Lord, can you believe that? It just went blank, dude.
Yeah. Happens. What's the 4th step?
Prayed for his will, anyways, basically prayed for the will to do it. Okay. Number 4, made a searches and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay. Number 5,
That's good for anybody.
admitted to ourselves, to another person, the exact nature of our wrongs. Number 6, we're ready entirely to have God remove these defects or remove these defects of character. Number 7, oh my God. See, I'm going blank, dude, because this is all, you know what I mean? You get put on the spot.
Yeah.
Number 7 is also a prayer. Prayed the, oh crap, I can't remember. But anyways, I mean, there's a lot of them. There's some of them I can't quote back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know
Of
what
course,
they are,
I can
but
bring it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's
I
the
can be
8th one?
The 8th one is how do I explain it? Like a piece of paper of the people that you need to make an amends to.
Make a list of people that you need to.
Yes, that you need to make an amends to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And basically that comes over from your 4th step. You know what I mean? The way that we were designed to do it is that, you know, you do your 4th step. Your 5th step is that you go and you talk to somebody about it. You know what I mean? Somebody that you respect.
Yep.
Someone that isn't going to tell your secrets.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that is like
Hard.
trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you're talking some dark stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of people say this too, right here. They say, you know, if you're a Christian, go ask your pastor.
Yeah.
To sit down with you and go through your steps.
Yeah.
I think everybody should, man. Personally, really, if you ask Shane Hudson, I think everybody should. Because, man, you got some messed up character defects.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
does,
Your character sucks sometimes. You know what I mean? Like some people's characters are just like, am I talking too loud?
No, I'm just hot.
Okay. So, I mean, it all, you know what I mean? Like some people can't talk to people and they say, oh man, your life is so screwed up. You know what I mean? In their own little way. And we're smart enough. We get it. You know what I mean? We're like, well, that's kind of messed up. You know what I mean? You know, or the interaction with people, you know what I mean? Like they have real no interaction. They think they do, but they don't have really no interaction with people. You know what I mean? So the 5th step is talking to somebody about it. The 6 is your character defects. 7 is asking God to remove these defects of character. Okay, and that's what it is. 7 is the prayer to ask God to remove these defects of character. 8 is that we made a listens of all persons we had harmed. See what you're doing to me?
I'm
made
sorry,
a listen
man.
to the person to all that we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them. That's step 8. Step 9 is we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, and to do so would injure them or others. Listen to me, whoever listens to this. Don't go make a 9th step amends with your freaking dealer. No, if you rip them off, shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Don't you say,
they might kill you,
don't you say a damn thing. Don't be stupid. You know what I mean? Don't you say a thing.
Have you heard of people getting hurt?
Oh, dude.
They go back to the dealer and they go, hey, I want to make amends. I ripped you off. I stole like 10 grand from you.
Hospitalized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't heard that in a really, really long time because we counsel those people.
Before they do it.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, don't do this. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I tell my sponsees, I say, listen to me, man. You guys don't do anything crazy. You don't go to say anything crazy.
Yeah.
If you want to make an amends to such people that is questionable, you come talk to me.
Maybe you could write a letter, send it to them, anonymous,
and
without a return address, so they don't know where you're at.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I owe an amends to my grandpa Hudson Delbert. I stole some money from him a long time ago, and I lied about it. And he was right. He told my big brother that I had stole money from him, and he goes, Shane stole money from me, that thief. And I was like, no, I didn't, old man. But yeah, I did. You know what I mean? Straight up. So, and I still owe him an amends. You know what I mean? And I was told by my, huh?
Your grandpa's still around?
No, he's been dead for a long time. But my sponsor told me this is how you're going to do this amends. You're going to write it out in a letter. You're going to go to his grave, and you're going to read it.
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's not that he can hear me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, I guess. I mean, because, he really believed in God, and all things are possible through him. You know what I mean? So, I mean, can he hear me? I mean, maybe God would open up his ears. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You get it off your chest.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But
you get it off your
that's
chest.
just it, getting off your chest.
You're carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah.
When we admit things, you feel a lot lighter. You know what I mean? Like, admitting that you're wrong is hard, and admitting that you're shitty, is hard, but it's freeing. That's the freeing part, where God says, my yoke is light,
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Well, that doesn't make sense, because a yoke is what a donkey pull, what a mule pulls a plow with. That's not easy. Like, pulling a plow is not easy. But that's I feel like that's the lightness of it, is like helping you release it. Get this, you are more than your sins, and you are more than the badness, that you have, but you have to willing to change, and then admit those things, and then try to work through them and make amends with people. I don't think none of that's a bad thing, and,
right.
and saying
and
it out loud.
None of it's easy.
I read that book, Jordan Peterson's book. I highly recommend it from people. But one of the things he talks about, and I used to listen to his lectures, is he was talking about, like, God, when they say in the Bible, I actually believe in the evolution of people, definitely fight me on that one. But, God said that his breath was the word, and the word was on over the waters, and then the word created everything. Like, there's something to saying it out loud instead of just internalizing it.
Right.
When I'm thinking like something, or even when you pray, like, I try to pray out loud, because I think there's more power to it, man. Like, when it comes to life, like, it's in your head, whatever. But when you say it, verbalize it, man, it's way more powerful when you do that. With someone around or not around, it doesn't really matter. Like, it makes life of it, versus like just keeping it in. Like, man, I feel bad for stealing that money from my grandfather or whatever,
Right.
or stealing, and hawking that watch or whatever. When you say it out loud, man, I feel like it's lighter.
You hawked a watch? I hawked like a camcorder.
I've never hawked anything.
Hey, I hawked a gun.
No, but I just know that.
I'm just messing with
no,
you.
I know a lot of people. That's how you get money, for your habit.
No, yeah.
I've never stolen from a family member ever.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man.
No, I don't. I've never done that.
That's good.
I don't know. I've stolen something. I don't know what. I can't think of. When I was a kid, I got caught at Walmart once for stealing.
Oh, you got caught?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I didn't steal anything. My friend stole something, but I was with him, and then we both got. I was 12, and I didn't know any better.
Really?
Now I know. I could have said I didn't steal anything, and I just release me.
I was
like,
I didn't get caught.
And I and I was just like, I told I just was with my friend, and so they charged me too. But anyway.
Yeah, so check this out. So step 9 says made direct amends such people where possible. 10 was continue to do so when you're wrong, promptly admitted it. Okay,
yeah.
So step 10 is basically step 10, 11, and 12 is basically 4, 5, and 6, and 7 and 8 all over again.
But in action,
right? And basically, it's step 11 is basically a sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. It's funny because there's so many people that say, man, Alcoholics Anonymous, they're not God based. Bull crap, man. The original stuff, dude, was like straight up, Mike. I mean, they had to like change some stuff because like some of the original transcripts, man, it said that this is what I heard. I didn't see it, okay? So, I mean, I'm not quoting something, but this is what I really heard from somebody that knew. They said that the original transcript said that if you didn't believe in God, your chances were less than average.
Yeah.
You're going to die. You're going to die of alcoholism, drug addiction, whatever it is that you put in that category.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what the original transcript said, and they changed it because it was too harsh.
That's
you
harsh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? And the agnostics, you know what I mean? The ones that didn't believe in God. Well, they wanted to get with them. They wanted to get a hold of them.
Agnostic can believe in God, but doesn't know what it is or where it is.
Right.
You know what? There's something
They
higher.
believe something's
out there, but I don't know what it is.
Right.
That's agnostic. But
Right.
atheist is there's nothing.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yes. And even in the atheist, you know what I mean? But so they changed some things, you know what I mean? But it's like what I tell my sponsees, man. I tell them, I say, look, man, you know, the second step is believing a power greater than yourself could restore you to sanity. Well, you know, just a question here, and I'm not like trying to impose or anything, but can your wife bring you into sanity? To your own sanity? You know, maybe when you do something weird, right? She can bring it out to you.
I don't think she's ever tried to make me sane, honestly.
I know my wife couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I love my wife to death, dude,
Yeah.
but she could not bring me back to sanity.
Yeah.
She can say, Shane, that was really screwed up of you, and that was not good, and you need to go back and ask her for forgiveness. Okay, well, that's counsel to me. That's not, you know, that's not.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a hard one.
I don't know if I'm sane or insane. Actually, maybe I just don't know where I'm at, and I've never asked for her to help me out.
Well,
hey, I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Can you help me out? You know, I don't know.
Right, dude, like seriously, like, hey, you know, I've kind of lost some screws. Could you
That's
help me
not true.
find them?
Actually, I had some depression this year, some bad depression, and when I was a kid, I had really bad depression. I had a bunch of learning disability, all kinds of problems, and it affected my sleep, and I have nightmares and all this stuff. And this year, I had some stress, I think, and I wasn't eating right, and I wasn't training enough, and I started getting stressed. And I remember telling her that, man, I just don't feel right, and she didn't help me at all. So I had to do it myself. I just knew what I had to do. I had to go exercise and eat better, and I felt better, and immediately I felt better. I know what I have to do, and but I was close to getting medicine again. I almost was close to getting. I actually called 3 psychiatrists, and they were all booked. And then I was like, screw it, I won't take medicine. I'll just roll more, and it worked. I just rolled more, and I prayed more, and I feel fine now. I'm not saying that that's how you should do. I have nothing against psychiatrists or psychologists at all. But earlier this year, so I don't know if that's insane, but depression is not a good mind. So I guess that's insanity. You know,
depression's pretty bad. You know what I mean?
So and not the blues, because I know the difference between the blues being sad and depression.
Oh, yeah,
Depression
there's
is
a big
different.
difference.
Yeah. So I guess I was a little bit crazy this year. But I feel fine, and my wife did not help me from that.
You know what I mean? So
I kind of actually reached out to her because I was like really fucking feeling terrible, and you know, and depression's crazy because you get in a hole, and then it's like you just get deeper in the hole instead of reaching for the light, you just kind of reach for the dark and go farther in. And that's the worst thing you can do. So I was like, I need to. I was like, help me, you know. But
right. Help me.
Have you ever seen that meme where like the guy's in the water and he's like this, and the person goes up and high fives him, good job, and then walks away.
Skims by on a sea-doo and gives him a high five. That would be so jacked up, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's really funny, but it's jacked up, dude. Be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I don't know. She just wasn't.
And hits him in the head, knocks him out.
Yeah, she didn't save me from my sanity. But
you know,
I feel like I knew what I had to do. So,
well, see, and that's the thing though. Sometimes
I try to lie to myself anyway.
Right. Sometimes that's the thing though too.
God.
You know what to do. You know what I mean? Like there's some people out there. Okay, you know they know the right thing to do.
I know myself well. I know thyself. I know myself well. Years of just being a mess since I was a child. I think a lot, and I don't. So sometimes when you do drugs, I think it's sometimes just to avoid thinking about yourself and thinking introspectively. You know, I
Right.
think introspectively often, and I think about things a lot. You know, I think things through, and I don't just do things. Like I think about things. So I know myself, and I know if I'm feeling a certain way, I have to do something about it positively. And it worked out. But I was feeling so bad, and it was so long since I had depression. Since I started jiu-jitsu, I haven't had depression. So it was like 20 years of not having depression.
Well,
Or
that's
19,
great,
19
dude.
years of not having depression. So I was having it this year. I'm like, I just feel, I forget how to like fix this. And then I don't know why. It was a simple answer. It was just to train more. And again, that's not my prescription for everybody. Some people should take medicine and counseling, but
Yeah, you need to take medicine.
no, but like
No, I'm just joking.
healthy diet and exercise is like, and sleep should be a part of all of that. And if you're not doing that, then the medicine is stupid.
Oh yeah, I got to quit drinking so much soda pop, man. You know what I
Soda?
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I love soda pop, man. Soda pop is like my new drug.
Yeah.
No,
Plus
oh,
they-
no, you know what though? You know they make this sound good. You know what I mean? Oh, super creatine. You know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
terrible for you.
BCAA amino acids. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But what they don't tell you is how much. Well, this one here don't have any sugars. It does somewhere. You know what I mean? But you know it's 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh baby.
Yep.
Oh my God, dude.
This has a
You know
ton of
what
crap
I mean?
in it. It's just
You know,
garbage
somebody
too.
said something to me a
No
while
sugar,
back.
but-
They were like, Shane. I was like, yeah. They were like, you know, that's going to kill you. I was like, oh my God, please. I was like, man, if that was, you know,
If that's gonna kill me,
I
you don't
know,
even know
doubt-
what I put in my
Dude,
body.
that's what I said too. I said, do you see, it was actually, the funny thing is it was in my church.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I believe in God, you know,
Yeah.
and it is good to go somewhere and
Yeah.
worship
No,
God
it's good.
with everybody else.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There is power there. You know what I mean?
I like messages too.
Yeah, you know, and so I was in the church and they were like, you know, that's going to kill you. And I was like, dude, look out there. You see all them people right there? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, dude, I've done killed over half of them. They were like, do what?
What?
And I was
Yeah,
like,
what are you talking about?
okay, so everything that I did to myself
Oh, would have killed most of those people.
would have killed half of them.
Oh yeah.
And on the first time,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they had done what I'd done,
Yeah.
the first time, boom, immediately dead.
Death. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for some reason, and I know what it is, for some reason, God said,
I need you
not
around.
this time.
Not-
Not this time. You know, and you know a lot about me. No, I don't get to wrestle with you anymore. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know me pretty well. You know, I mean, we've known each other for a really long time. Well, since 2006.
That's a ways.
That's a long time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we've never got mad at each other and spread ways. You know what I mean? We've always kind of interacted. You know what I mean? If it wasn't at fights or somewhere, you
You
know.
know, I've only had like a few people leave the school on bad terms ever. You know, and I've had my school for
a long time.
almost 12 years now, or
Yeah.
11. No. Yeah, almost 10 years. No, is it 10? It's already been 10 years.
It's been over
So,
that.
so it's almost 11 years. Next
Yeah.
year it'll be 11 years. So, you know, I've had a lot of people in and out, but I try never to burn bridges, man. Like, and even when they leave, you know, bad or they burn me, I just go, okay, well, you know, maybe they're not that person next time when they come back, and yeah, I just don't do that. I try not to do that. You know, I've only had like 3 people total do that. That's not bad.
Yeah.
3 out of like probably 1,000 at least.
So this person asked me, they were like, what do you mean by, you know, half these people? And I was like, listen, I was like, yeah, I know you don't know everything about me. You know what I mean? I was like, so, you know, I used to be an intravenous drug user. And they were like, what? You were what? What is intravenous?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. All right, I get
take
this.
needles.
I said,
I would
okay,
stick
yeah,
them in-
yeah, I would, yeah. And they were like, oh my God, I hate needles. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you know, that was, you know, blood doesn't bother me. You know, blood has never bothered me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was like, you know, I would stick a nail in my arm to get high. You know what I mean? And the sad case is, you know, I'm gonna bring this to light because a lot of people can identify to this. You know, sometimes it wasn't all the time, but sometimes when I'd get ready to use, I would get high before it even got in my body. What does that tell you? There's something about it being spiritual too. You know what I mean? Like You know,
Yeah, your mind is anticipating it.
and that too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's like almost like it's a evil spirit or something, almost
Yeah.
like it enters you, you know what I mean? And you do these things to satisfy it, to satisfy yourself too, you know what I mean? Because it was a physical thing, you know what I mean? With an obsession, you know what I mean? So the big book talks about an obsession with it, you know what I mean? Like you know, I obsessed over it so much that it became my God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many people that would be like, "Oh my God, you're blaspheming the Lord." No, I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. You know what I mean? I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? How can you dog me like that? You know what I mean? I pray that I never blaspheme God. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, have we denied God at one time? Maybe. You know what I mean? I think everybody kind of sometimes had kind of denied God, you know what I mean, in their own way, you know what I mean, if they're going to be honest, you know what I mean. If not, man, more power to you, you know what I mean. But I definitely had put things before God.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of denying God to me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what you ain't powerful enough to do this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'll put this in your way, you know?
Yep.
The thing is, though, is that, you know, I couldn't control that obsession. You know what I mean? So, and it really hurt. You know what I mean? But here we go, you know, as a spiritual awakening of these steps,
Mm-hmm.
we try to carry this message to alcoholics and addicts who still suffer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's basically 11 and 12 is that, you know, we carry this message to people that are still suffering. Actually, it is 12. So, you know, 1 through 12, you know what I mean? They're so simple, you know what I mean?
They're not simple.
And they're biblical.
It's hard.
They're biblical. Did you know that? They took these steps from the Bible, Mike. That's what a lot of people don't get, dude. They're like, I don't like the Bible. I don't like God. I don't want none of that. But you're going through the steps.
Yeah.
So you must
Again,
like it
people don't want to
somewhat.
admit that there's something bigger than themselves and that you're wrong.
You know? Yeah, I mean, and you
That
know,
you're wrong. Like,
and-
people don't want to be wrong.
right. You know, the thing is that I was in a church one time when a pastor was preaching, okay, and the guy had this guy with a backpack and he had river rocks in it. Yeah, you put a couple of river rocks in there, okay, and these river rocks were your sins, okay, the sins not against your fellow man but against God, right? Against God. You know, everything is against God. You know what I mean? Your sins aren't against me; they're against your Maker. You know what I mean? And even though you might aim it at me, but truly you sin against God. You didn't sin against me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it was pointed at me, but really, you know, it was against God. So anyway, so those were your sins, you know what I mean? And you carried this backpack, and every time you sinned, he'd put a rock in there, you know what I mean? So he would have this guy run around the auditorium, and it was a pretty good sized auditorium, you know what I mean? And the dude wasn't like greatest shape, you know what I mean, dude? I mean, he wasn't like a track star or nothing like that. He didn't have a lot of cardio, you know what I mean? So this dude's jogging right with these river rocks in his backpack. And the backpack represented your spiritual, you know what I mean, your spiritual man, you know what I mean? And he would just keep putting keep putting rocks in there, dude. And the dude was getting like really tired, dude. I mean, you could see the beads of sweat.
Like I said,
coming down his face.
you're carrying it and the load, and
Right.
the load is heavy.
Right.
And then, you know, when you admit those things,
Right,
you
he'd take one out.
You release it out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd take one out. Or
Yeah.
if you forgave somebody else for something that they did to you, he would take one out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you went to God, and the way that he presented that is when you went to God and you said, God, man, forgive me of this, he would take that out. Okay, God forgave you for that. You know what I mean? And now you can run faster. Well, you know what? The same thing happens when resentment comes in. You know what I mean? Resentment is that you hold something against somebody that is important to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, they hurt my pride.
Yeah.
They hurt my pocketbook. You know, they ruined my marriage. Well, who really ruined your marriage? Was it them or was it you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many different things, man, and so many.
We have to.
quit. here in just a
Yeah,
minute?
because my camera's going to die.
No, that's cool, dude. But
It's like super close to, it's
So-
like blinking at me.
so check this out. This is the whole thing. This is the whole thing that I wanted to really say, man, is that, you know, you can do all things through Christ. You know what I
sure.
mean? Number one, you can do all things through Christ. If you're struggling and you need somebody to help you, you know, me and there's other people out there, you know what I mean, that will help you. You know what I mean? We don't care what you believe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We will help you anyways.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to talk, to shoot things across, to counsel. You know what I mean? Do I hold a counseling degree? No, but I hold a life degree.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You can listen. Anyone can listen. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
you know what I
You
mean?
don't have to be a
It just-
counselor to listen to somebody.
Right. You know, but there's a lot of suffering that I did because of my usage. You know what I mean? And here I thought I was just having fun when having fun became prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of times that I did have fun. That's just the thing. It was weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, it was still imprisoning
There's a
me.
price to pay.
You know? So, I mean, today, I have over 14 years clean and sober.
That's awesome.
You know,
Congratulations.
God has restored a lot of my mind to me.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some things that are, you know, they're probably gone. You know, or they're boiling back there somewhere. But, you know, I mean, God has been good to me, man. You know, and
Yeah.
you know about Aurora. You know,
Yeah.
You know about my daughter. You know,
I don't
what
know
mean?
everything about it, but
Right, but I mean, but you know that, you know,
I
and
know she passed away.
right, you know, and which we didn't really get to get on, which it's okay, you know what I mean? But
Well, you could come back.
the times are hard right now, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like there's things that go through my head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you know, it's really
Yeah,
hard.
So one of the things that Lauren said, that the alcohol, she did the podcast with me,
Right.
and she said, you know, one of the things that I think she was proud of herself. I keep watching it because I don't want it to go out.
It
It's
is
like
flashing,
so
isn't it?
close to get just dying. Is that she said that, you know, when her son was born, he had a disformed hand and foot, and they didn't think they had enough money for it, and it was like all these excuses. She said, I could have started drinking. Like your mind just is looking for excuses. Like it's
Right.
okay because this, you know, like, oh, you're having a hard time, you should take it, you know, like a drink. It's, you know, she was proud, I think, of herself to stay sober, even though life was giving her excuses to
Right.
try to use again. You know, and I cannot imagine one of my kids passing away before me. I can't.
Right. It's
It's
hard.
It's not even.
you know?
I can't even put my head. I can't even wrap my head around that. I don't think I can. I cannot empathize. I have empathy for you, but I cannot like try to imagine what it is. I just can't. I don't think it's possible until you have it, and that's how that happens. So the fact that you're sober from that, and then is awesome, man. That's a testament to God's grace and power, and then
Right.
your own power as well to maintain that. And I'm proud of you, man, for that. I really
Mhm.
am, like, super proud of you. Like, and I don't know, and again, I don't know everything about it, you know. I just remember seeing it online, and that you had to put you know, you had to bury your daughter. You know, that's terrible, man. I'm so sorry, but I'm also very proud of you for not using that as an addict.
All right.
You know,
Oh, and it
'cause I
came-
feel like
it
an
came
addict,
on me too.
you
It
know,
was
you're like,
whew.
you know, knowing that you'll feel better if you used again, but it's only temporary. You're still gonna feel
Right.
it. You still feel it again. You know,
Yeah, and
it's better to deal with it.
Yeah,
It's
and
better
plus-
to deal with
plus
it.
I
And
get
ask
to
dad.
face what
That's the-
was said to me, you know.
What's that?
And I said, and I would have to face what was said to me, you know, by God, you know.
Yeah.
You know, again, here we go.
promise,
you know
you
what I mean? I don't want that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I want His promises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to stay clean and sober, and I
Yeah.
will do so. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But, you know, the devil came in and said, hey, you know, why don't you just use again? You know how to do this. You know how to numb this. And I'm like, nope,
I think
no,
this is
thank
a
you.
miracle that my camera is not dying.
Hey, that's awesome. But it's probably going to die like here in just a minute. So
Yeah.
like you said, you know what I mean? Let's end this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, everybody, you know what I mean? I think you should do the steps, you know what I mean? Even if you do have some problems in your life, you know what I mean? Get with somebody, some kind of counseling, you know what I mean? And go through the steps. The thing is, though, is you need to go through it with somebody that's gone through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
gone through the steps.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that we point our finger at you and go, ha, ha, ha.
No, but you've
you
been
know?
there.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, let us take you through this thing, you know what I
Yep.
mean? But, you know, I mean, I really appreciate you, Mike. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
you putting that out there because
Yep.
I was like, you know what? And of course, there's more to my story than even that we talked about here. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be almost an all day thing. Oh my God, dude, I've been here since like 2:00 and it's like 4:34, dude.
Oh, I'm in
my
trouble.
goodness.
It's 4:34. We have to leave
Dude,
it. Okay.
is. I know. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Bye.
See y'all,
Peace.
man.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Oh,
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder.